Oh my goodness. Wow.
He might call.
Wow.
Oh, he folded.
Welcome, everyone. We are back. It is the GG Millions after a short break, the World Series of Poker. The final 9 is set, and today I have Mike Wasserman. Neither of us made the final 9. Used to be on November 9. They're taking a slight break, but we do have Mike on again. I think you're on for the record appearances, so appreciate you taking the time again to look at the profile there. Knows his way around the live streets and online, and of course does a ton for poker. We're going to talk about that later today. But again, Mike, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. And how is your WSOP? How was it? How was the summer?
Summer's been very long. Started off with a bunch of deep runs and a bunch of cashes, but so far I'm like even for the summer, roughly. So I can't complain, you know.
There you go. Listen, even is great. Even is not the end of the world. You gave yourself a lot of shots, didn't have a losing summer, and still I think there's a little bit left, and of course a lot of poker to come up and play circuit events everywhere as well as other things. But right now, let's dive into the past champion, Zirko 777, one final table, one win. Took it down. Actually, it says 0 appearances. Obviously, that the first. I mean, never prior, and does get it. This is from 2 weeks ago. We didn't have a show last week. Kelvin Kerber, man's been on a heater as well on the Online Poker Millionaires. As we see, this is the hand that got the result, and obviously a huge hand, ace queen suited. Heads up and see how this one played out. As I remember, 2 weeks is a long time, Mike. 2 weeks ago. I don't remember specifically the whole hand here for Kelvin, but I think ace queen suited certainly qualified to play for all the chips.
Hits him with the limp re-raise.
Ooh, queen 9-8. Now we're in no limit hold'em. Hard to make a pair, top kicker, very connected, wet board. Is this just good enough to go for value? Ace queen suited here.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a lot of dynamic turn cards, so. We'll see if it ends up being like a mystery hand.
It is a mystery what Kelvin had, I think, as I remember. So he just ships it on the turn, and obviously doing well against a lot of hands, has some hands with a fair amount of equity here, and we know this is the last hand, so this is one that did get in. And actually, look at that, kings. Kelvin was trapping, had his opponent in bad shape, but there is that ace on the river, similar to the Todd Brunson, got it in kings, queens, ace, king suited, hit the ace on the river, turned a diamond draw, as a matter of fact, the diamond turn and river. That was a big pot. Some of that I was sweating a bit down the stretch here at the WSOP, main event, but big hand there. And I mean, nothing you can do. Both players have a top range, and ace queen does end up coming out victorious there. Pretty sick way to end the 2 week ago stream. We didn't have one last week with respect to the main event, and I think last week though we will talk about who won that, Andras Nemeth, and this is actually, that was the first week of the 2026 season 2, so season 1 in the books. We'll take a look at that leaderboard, as well as see the all-time ranking list here, which is again really impressive. I saw Artem at 4 million was leading the main at one point, closing off a day. It must have been day 4, I believe, day 4 or 5. So he was leading, and then I don't know where he all finished out. But again, some of the best names in the game to do it. And I think Rodrigo Selouan, who is a 4-time winner and also has been a guest on the show, he is at the final table today. So we'll get to see someone on that list competing. Anyone there that you gotta, that you've played the most with, or that you would maybe give some extra respect to?
I mean, this is just the goats of online poker. Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna have a little nostalgic respect for Ole, because we battled trying to win the tournament leaderboard on Stars years ago. But yeah, I mean, Samuel Vousden, however you pronounce his name, Nicholas Astet, C. Darwin, I mean, you name it, they're on there. So
yeah, unbelievable. Vousden just got his 10th title as well, just recently picking up, the only other player with over that double-digit club. Pretty insane stuff. As we see, the 2026 season 2 is underway, and that is last week. Although it was not a show on here, it is a look at there. Andras Nemeth, as I mentioned, took that down. Legend of the game as well, off to a hot start, going to be in first place with that, as this week we see 133 entrants, down from the total. With that said, it is World Series, right? Wrapping up. A lot of people are out there, maybe a little bit burnt out as well from playing live, and people still not making their way back from Vegas. But there's a look at today's payout: 280 to first, 28 buy-ins, 38K for 9. So a lot to play for today, and the pay jump's pretty consistent there. Top 5 getting 6 figures, as we will go down the list and look at the finalists. And this is one who I can say I do not have any awareness of. Larin, who is got only 4 big blinds. Have you played with Larin? Does that look familiar to you? Or I would imagine not, since
does not look familiar.
You're not playing a lot online right now, I don't think, at the moment on GG, but this is 3.2 million in GG earnings, so fair enough. Has played, has cashed once before, and now is at his first final table. 4 big blinds. Any advice, or is it really just got to get it in there?
Look, anyone that's at these FTs, they're at the very least willing to be in there and go for it. Yeah, as the short stack, he's going to be closer to chip EV, right? So he's going to want to double. But we've seen people with no real history of these FTs really go for it and not play scared. So we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, 4 blinds, really, again, not too much can do off that stack. Try to get it done. Try to get a spin up there, as it is possible. You've seen it before. And again, the big jump there to 8th place. So 19 blinds. I think one of the first orders of business is to get that short stack out. You don't really want to necessarily put it on the line in a flip or a light spot where you can outlast that easy pay jump for a very short stack. But 19 blinds, plenty to play with, and someone we don't, again, have much to go off of. Fishing Boat is the name there, and we will see if they can get a run up on their first appearance here at the final table. Not many tries, so pretty impressive. 4 appearances to get to the final table already, ahead of the curve, and has played on GG but doesn't have a ton of GG Millions experience. 19 blinds. Talk to me about that stack. What can you do there, Mike, with 19 blinds at this final table?
Yeah, well, it will be interesting to see how people how the bigger stacks abuse. But 19 bigs, he's going to be wanting to jam over opens, attack some of the weaker ranges from the chip leaders. But we'll see what approach he takes.
Yes, and Pedro Padilha, who is someone, again, just emerged out, has become a breakout star in Brazil. We've got 4 Brazilians at this final table, just an insane stamp for them to start out this new season, and shows that they're just playing well. They're in there, they're competing and battling. And Pedro's someone who is no stranger to the bright lights and the big buy-ins. He has got 143 appearances in this tournament, and he has got no wins, 9 final tables, 26 cashes, looking to get that first title, 26 big blinds. Definitely capable with that stack, although going to be one of the shorter ones today. Have you played with Pedro? Tell me about his game a bit.
I was walking with Yuri, one of the other guys in his crew, and Pedro, and I was listening to a hand history that they were talking about. Like, it was either last World Series or the one before. And he went for it hard, like deep in the tournament. And I was very impressed with how fearless he was. He's like, he had a blocker and he was just going for it. And he ended up busting on the hand, but he's like, I love my play. So
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. I've seen him play. I've watched him at the BSOP in several big buy-in events in short order, and he was really, as you said, just kind of goes for it and not afraid. Sven Andersson, someone who has 2 titles, not a stranger to getting it done here on the GG Millions, and again, almost crossing that 10 million mark. Will do so today, and GG, kind of big milestone with a lot of that, 27% coming in the GG Millions. So again, 32 blinds, capable, willing, knows how to finish, knows how to get it going on the shorter stack, but 32 blinds at a final table is definitely not short. Expect him to maneuver well, and I think he's going to be someone to watch today to get his 3rd title. How do you think Sven finds so much success in this tournament?
Well, volume is obviously one of the keys, and there's no way around doing the work. Anyone that's performing at a high level against all the best, they're, not everybody's Bryn, where they can just kind of, guess their way through stuff and make their own adjustments. These guys are for sure putting in a ton of work off the table. That's how it's done.
Yeah, a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of trial and error. And here we see Osmirko Artem here with I believe the Russian flag, 22 appearances, and he has got 2 final tables, no wins, 1.5 million in earnings on GG. A third of that coming in this format, as 36 blinds. Again, does have some success here on the high roller stage for the GG Millions. So 2 final tables, 2 200K scores, looking to add to that tally, 36 blinds. And again, someone not as familiar with, but have seen the name and know that Artem does know how to make it to a final table. Let's see if he can get win today. We're going to go into our next one. Dalton Hobold, someone I got to say 42 blinds, has made 1 final table before, and I don't know as much about them as we can see. Plays a lot on GG, 9.5 million in earnings. So very impressive stats there. And how about Dalton? Are you familiar with Dalton? Because I am not myself.
It rings a bell. I feel like I maybe met him at some point, but I'm not too familiar with his game. But you can see that his earnings are almost 10 million. Maybe he wasn't playing very high until recently, so he's kind of moved up in stakes. But I'm sure he's very capable and knows what's going on. So it'll be exciting to see what he does. And he's, as we get into like 30, 40 big blinds, there's some going to be some play. There's going to be some, 3-bet folds, 4-bet folds, maybe. There's going to be flatting 3-bets and playing in position. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's our 4th place contestant. We will not see a hand. We will see from the top 3. And Rodrigo, someone we got to say 4 wins, has to be one of the favorites today with 60 blinds, as is been on the show and is in amazing form. 69 cashes, played this 208 times, has been here so often and knows what to do. 7 million in GG Million earnings out of 18 million on GG. Yeah. So just staggering stats, almost 3 million in live earnings as well. And tell me about Rodrigo and his game and your experience with him.
I don't know a whole lot. I just know that he's good and he's here all the time. So he's very capable of winning this. But, we're going to see a lot of Brazilian on Brazilian violence at this final table because, hey, Allison is coming up here and he doesn't really back down. And I don't think Rodrigo really does either. And generally these guys are going to be playing aggressive. So
I also will say 208 appearances. That is exactly 4 years, 52 weeks, playing every Sunday this tournament for 4 years. That's not re-entries, that is appearances. So that is a pretty impressive stuff if you think about that, for 4 years of your Sunday to be in this exact tournament. So really impressive stat, and he has shown that he knows how to get it done, as we see a battle here between Pedro and Rodrigo. Ace queen off, 5-handed. The blinds are big. We're getting near that final table at this stage here, and wow, I mean, again, a very strong hand. You're either probably way good or somehow cooler, but ace queen off, 5-handed with this, I think you're definitely not folding.
I have a feeling he's gonna 4-bet call, even though it seems absurd off of these stacks. Okay, he just called. I don't know, man. I would have just put the money in. Pedro wants to 3-bet me from the small. Like on these stacks, I'm all in. You figure it out. But this is, we don't know the dynamic. We don't know the history. And yeah, I don't know. I guess with the presence of the 450K stack and the 250K stack, maybe he is being a little bit careful here. But yeah, this hand's too good for me. I'm not trying to go. Maybe ace queen suited I would flat sometimes, but I think still against the better players to just put the money in with good hands and let them.
These are super interesting to think about. Is he trapping or is he pot controlling? Like what is it? What is the actual motivation? Because it kind of, to me, it gets
in position.
Yeah, to me, it gets into the point, like you said, just too good a hand. I don't think he's really worried about being beat, but it's also not a great trapping hand just because you can get out flopped or things can go wrong. So that's kind of a very interesting hand. I think it's sort of, would love to hear his exact reasoning here, but as it stands and as it plays, I mean, pretty good board for him as played. Ace queen, he's got, he blocks ace king, blocks king queen. He's got a
this might
very
be
strong
tough
holding. There are some bluffs here, right? There's some ace 5 suited. There's some other hands that are bluffing. There's also some
top pairs.
tens that, you know, some value hands that you beat now. But this size on the river has played. It's also very much so an interesting hand. What do you think Pedro has? I mean, I think he's gonna. I think he's got a call here, and I think he's gonna be good. But I guess. Okay, so he just, you know, look at that. He calls his opponent's so buried, he flops him dead and essentially dead, right? Gets a dead on the turn and then gets even more money out here. So nice hand from Rodrigo, and I like it. I like it. You know, if he runs the risk of letting his opponent catch up, but he does also keep his opponent in with an inferior hand, and he's in position. So he did a nice job there, and he got a pretty clean run out. Any surprises on that hand from either side?
On the river, I think Pedro, his combo probably feels like a mandatory bluff. He's blocking the bottom end and the top end of the straight, and he has no pair. The way that Rodrigo played the hand, he's playing to showdown, and it's like on the river is a pretty easy call. These are interesting spots where, like, you know, some players would c bet, give up. Not a lot of people would like check down and bluff the river the way that Pedro did here. So I think that that's interesting that in a lot of these lines he can have like thin value on the river. He can also have bluffs. It's just they're very capable. But I like the way that Rodrigo played the hand post flop because he wanted to make sure he showed down. So, and he got value too from a hand that had no equity against his hand. So
very interesting hand, and here's a very interesting player, and also has been on my pod. He's been on the show multiple times. He just got a win, and he had just had a baby. The baby run good as real, and I think he may have misregistered, misclicked this, or it was another tournament. But I did catch on his socials something about a misclick, and he had maybe it was another tournament that he cashed for 45K and a other buy another day. But either way, Beriuzy in the house. He's fresh off of being a dad, and he is running good. So top 2 stack today, 9 final tables, does have a win here, coming up on 100 appearances, and almost 20% of these earnings coming from this format. Again, the GG Millions, he plays it, he competes, he gets stacks, builds chips, knows how to play the game. 74 big blinds. His total live earnings 1.7 million. Just a guy hard not to root for, and could be in a good position today. How much do you know about Beriuzy?
played with him a few times live. I mean, he's pretty much in the zone. Most of the tournaments I played with him were like 3Ks or higher. So he's like taking it pretty serious, but pretty nice guy. I've had only positive interactions with him, and he's very good. He's very good, and he's fearless, and he's responsible off the tables as well. So, you know, he's a force in the poker world, and he'll be around for a long time. So he just defends the 10-9 in position here. I think that's pretty normal. Simon raises from the small off of like 25 bigs. Kind of strong, not from these positions and these stack sizes. And this is pretty deep in the tournament too, right? This is final 2 tables.
Yeah, this looks, yeah, exactly. It's right there. 2.6 million stack for Hayhouse. And again, not as many entries this week. And these are, you know, getting here 9-10 off. A decent flop though. Does have in position with a real draw.
I think this is like a board that's going to favor the flatter more than the original raiser. I mean, the jack is decent, but like for Simon, but it's going to hit a lot of the flats from Beriuzy. So I like starting off with a bet in position. And I think he's just like very comfortably trying to figure out, well, obviously comfortable because he has the nuts, but this
super
hits,
wet board. You really can't have more going on here. There's 2 flush draws. You do have a 9 of spades, but I mean, again, yeah, you have the nuts. The guy's shallow. You cover the SPR. You know, it's again, you're trying to get chips. Does make an inviting size, but you are, you know, you want to keep some semi bluffs in. You want to keep hands in. You are flirting with getting outdrawn, but at the same time, you have the nuts. 1 card to come, right? It's kind of like, there you go. You even get him to bite all in, and yeah, there's a hand drawing dead, and a nicely executed hand. What a turn! What a moment, and a knockout. 1.7 million. To look into how he got some more chips there. Anything you can do with kings in this spot, or I mean, that's just kind of You're basically, I don't know, I don't really see a path out there.
The way he played, he could have check raised the flop, but I don't mind check calling. And then once he's, no, I mean, what? And then Beriuzy bets the turn, so it's time to get the money in. Like you said, it's a pretty dynamic turn card. There's 2 flush draws, there's still straight draws. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that he could really do. No,
Yeah, I think that's
lose
one
all
of
your
those.
chips.
Yeah, it's a cooler. You're on the wrong side there with the kings, and 9 10 off flops great and gets a beautiful turn, gets the straight and gets a knockout as we do get again to a final table. We're gonna play to a winner today. There is no deal making in the GG Millions. GG does facilitate deals, but there is not in this. It's just pure. It's to the end, and there is all the way through. We're gonna see potentially a new winner. We have 3 former winners, and we could have 6 new champions today as we kick off a second week of the season 2 of 2026. Last week we did not have a live stream, but it was the first week as Andres Nemeth took it down. So again, very excited to be here. Excited to have Michael Wasserman in the house. He has again been on here. I think I've lost track. I believe it's 8 or 9, like the most. Definitely you and Ben CB have been on the most times. B Paris also has put in a lot of volume here, but we appreciate you after, I know you played a lot, probably a bit burnt out, tired to come on here and call it through as we see again another Brazilian here and someone you do know well. Hey, Allison in the lead, Brazil representing well. He doesn't have a win, 8 final tables on 65 appearances and a very high percentage of cashes. Very tough player, 107 bigs today. It's his to lose today. I think he is going to be dictating the action, the tempo, and he is capable to finish it off. What do you know about Mr. Allison?
Well, he's not scared. He's going to go for it. You know, we've seen some the last FT that he was on, I think, was one of the bigger ones. And he was playing against Malacca, and it was just a battle. Like, he's just not going to back down, and he's going to try to win. And he's going to play aggressive, you know? So that's what I know. And he's been around for a long time, and he's gotten a lot better over the years. He does some unorthodox stuff, but there's reasoning behind it, and he thinks pretty critically about these spots. So he opens aces, C bets. What is that? 40% ish, high 30s on 10-8, 4. I mean, clearly gonna double barrel here. He goes for 1.5x pot. So he's,
yeah. When you're a player that's aggressive, capable, and you're able to find the overbets and spots, it's nice because then you get to have your bluffs. They kind of get to be 1 or 2 and done. You know, on a turn where you find a spot to sort of take a stab to just pick up a pot, and then you also get to get the value from boards like this where you get to hook your guy on to, you know, King X, 10x, maybe can't fold, and you get to go for really big sizings and get a lot out of a pot. So again, aces here, just such a nice clean board. Of course, he loses some 2-pair combos or whatnot, but he's going for all of it. And look at that, just coolers his opponent, gets the full bit of it. Even had ace king on defense, right? Ace king was even there checking the turn, and pretty sick hand. And I got to say, not the most conventional. You don't just see that overbet there frequently on that. It's a rainbow board on the 10-8-4 king. And tell me about your thoughts on this hand in particular.
I believe that rainbow boards can support big bets more frequently. So he's kind of going like B2E here, roughly. He's trying to get the money in. And in order for him to do that, it's a sick level. It's a sick spot where the king is so good for his double barreling range and his opening range. Like, he should have a bunch of queen jacks and jack nines and ace queens and ace jacks. So I think he, like, very comfortably can put this aces into his big betting range, and try to get all the money in. So
So he has aces. Obviously, he's got one of the best hands in this situation. What, talk to me about, to be balanced, what would be some likely candidates for his double barrel, for overbet turn and then shove river with bluffs? I mean, is it the jack queens? Is it ace jacks? What hands is he doing this with?
I mean, I don't know exactly. The first hands that come to mind would be hands like queen jack, jack nine, 7-9 suited, Um, and then he can start having hands like ace jack, but maybe these hands are a little bit too good. He can also have hands like an 8 that interacts with the straight and kind of turn it into a bluff, or a hand like uh, ace 4, just hands that block sets. But these are just, I'm just going through some possibilities.
Yeah.
But I think most of them will be straight draws that really benefit from folding everything out. Like he can put a ton of pressure on a 10 here. He can make an 8 fold. He should be almost over bluffing on this turn. So that's why he's just like, all right, time to like figure out a way to get all of the money in and stack this guy. And he somehow had ace king here, which is wild. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on the spot.
Yeah, really, really nice execution. Of course, a ridiculous run out. Ace King, just nowhere to go. That's an impossible fold, and that is going to be taking us into the betting odds portion. I know you know this almost as well as anyone. You've done this a bunch, and you know the drill. We definitely have a dinner. We need like a spreadsheet for our dinners and where
We
we
really
stand
do.
anyway. There's been a lot of back and forth and some pretty intense runouts for our wagers. And again, want the audience at home to know if you do have GG, if you have the client, you're able to do this. You could log in each week. You're able to take the betting odds here, and you can actually participate. You can wager, and that's why we like to use a mock-up of 100 units where we get to play at home as if you were using $100. Of course, we're playing for a real money dinner, but for you guys, all intents purposes, it is kind of fun to take a few shots and then maybe cover with a couple as well. So let's let you kick it off. First pick, 100 total units, 3 picks. Break it up. Who do you have and how much, Mike?
All right. Well, give me a second. I think I'm just going to put 50 on Allison.
50 on Allison. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna go, yeah, sort of, the 4-4-4. I like that, 2 energy. I'll go Beriuzy for 50 there, clean half of my units, and wish him luck on. He's got the baby luck going for him. I feel good about it, so I'll take 50 there. Your second pick, and how much?
Yeah. I'll go Rodrigo. I'm just going to go all Brazil here. I'll put 30. Yeah, 30 on him.
Nice. All right, so you got 20 left. I got my second pick. I'm gonna go down to Sven. I just feel like experience is important. I'll go 25 on Sven for that. I think he knows how to finish off, and although he's 11-1, not as familiar with the other guys in between there, and I like his chances. Not too big of a price difference to go there, so I'll take him for 25. And who is your last 20? Who are you gonna pick? And I guess it's 20. There's no decision on the amount. 20 for who?
I'm actually kind of torn between taking Pedro or Dalton. If I am going to go all Brazil. Uh, yeah, just to win the bet. I think I got to go Dalton, even though I'm not as familiar with him. So for my last 20, I'll take him. So I have Allison, Rodrigo, and Dalton. You have Beriuzy, Sven, and who's your last one?
I'll go Pedro. Yeah, I'll stick with Brazil. 12-1.
Okay.
I think he plays great. I think it's
Yeah.
plenty of chips to get it going with. I'll take my last 25 there. I like my units. I like my bet size, and I feel good about this. Although AP with that lead, I do think he is dangerous, and I think he's for sure the favorite. But it is, again, very tight with Beriuzy and Rodrigo not far behind either, and a lot of experience. So those are only 3 winners in the past. So we have 6 people that could be a first-time champion. We got Sven, Rodrigo, and Beriuzy, who could repeat, as we see again a very stacked final table. This is a fun one to come in right off the WSOP. And what was your peak in the main event? What did you get to? Did you ever get it going there in the at the WSOP in the main? What was the most chips you ever had, or how was your tables?
I got up to like 220-ish K, which is like almost what is that? Almost 4 starting stacks. But yeah, day 3 was just I made day 3, and the first level, I just had a bunch of hands I had to open, didn't connect. C-bets didn't work. It was just all the way down. I managed to spin it back up, but couldn't quite recover and get it going. What about What about you?
Yeah,
How
I got
did
in
you
day
go?
2D, had a good start, got up to like 170, bagged 126, got on day 3, got up to 180, had a great table. Guy on my right opening, do 7 off, nice guy, just having fun. Like, same thing, it didn't matter. He would
Nice.
open, go heads up and out flop, and it couldn't really just didn't go well. I had made 2 sets and lost both. Like made hands that came in
Yeah.
second and had to either fold or got beat. So yeah, just frustrating, right? Felt like out of all the years, this was the most fun. ESPN back involved. The coverage
Yeah.
is insane. The WSOP live app's insane. All is cooking. All is
The
great. It's
energy for the
exciting.
man.
My tables were the softest for sure I ever had, and just didn't quite get out and get it to that next gear. So that was frustrating. But again, I'm very excited where poker's at. I got to see and a lot of people interesting to catch up with friends. Also people who have seen the show or were in there, just came by and it was fun. I got to say I wish that I was playing a full series right now because it's not how it is for me. But next year I hope to play more, and of course the Bahamas is coming up. There's still a lot of action, a lot of WSOP circuit stops as well as other tournaments in the world. So again,
Yeah.
poker's in a great place. Very excited and very excited about today to get back to the GG Millions. We're going to have our winner crown today. It will play to a winner. We will be back in 5. Don't go anywhere. We will see you then. All right, it is time. It is that time. The season 2 of 2026. It is underway. We had last week again, not a live stream, but the first week. This is week 2, and we are going to see a winner today crowned for GG Millions to be the champion. We are going to have either a repeat or a new one for 6 possibilities in that to be a new champion, as we will go right into the seat draw selection. And Mike, you've done this. You've been here many times. The short stack doesn't have a ton to do. I would imagine just try to get to either, you know, the cutoff, the hijack, the button, maybe get lucky, but obviously you're going to get moved around a bit. So can't do a ton. He did his best. He's going to try to miss the blinds for the time being, as we see fishing boat there as well, trying to figure out where he's going to go, as he is the next shortest stack. He will just keep right there as we will keep it going. It gets interesting towards the end, who gets to go where, as I guess very likely Allison will go to the left of Beriuzy and Rodrigo. Those are kind of the top, 3 stacks. Very interesting to see how it lines up. Pedro will try to get out of the way of them, and Sven as well, another very accomplished player here. He is going to go ahead and switch to, did he just stay? It looks like. I don't think he did switch. So we'll see. Any thoughts, anything that jump out to you? If you're today, Allison, do you want to just go to the left of Beriuzy?
Ideally, yes. Also being to the direct left of the short stacks is, I think, beneficial. I mean, either direction. But to the left of the short stacks, if they fold, like both short stacks fold, he can just like open with impunity. But also he can open into the short stacks, and when they fold, then nobody else wants to play a big pot. So yeah, but ideally he wants to be in direct position on whoever's like second in chips. Yeah, which is what he's attempting to do here. And then all the short stacks are going to fight for the button, the small blind, or the cutoff. So let's see what happens.
All right. Well, there it is. Good luck. It's underway. We got a very, very, very intense match here as we get right into it. As you see the hands, always love seeing how the whole cards are up. It gives you a kind of feeling on what is what. And, it's hard to make a hand. A lot of time no one has pairs or even a ace king. So like here, ace 8 suited decides to fold. Jack 7 suited going to open, and queen 9 suited. Definitely a hand that could play, could 3-bet, could flat, does flat, makes sense too, goes to a board, gets a very nice flop. And interesting that ace jack off didn't even consider squeezing there, right? With 2 big stacks and open and call. Could have been an interesting spot to do it. Not necessarily good hands there from those guys with a big, big stack opening and the other big stack just flatting. But either way, can't blame him, right? Ace jack off doesn't play super well. Does he really want to just go put in a big squeeze right away, as queen 9 suited now is going to just pick it up. Jack 7 suited decides to check fold, does have some equity, but I think that's a good strategy, right? You don't want to be out of position against the chip leader, start getting into a guessing game and with the very little piece of the board. So he did go for a light open, got a little bit of the board. He was right to fold there. So, okay. So far we see the first hand going to go to our chip leader's way.
It's interesting that he even opened that hand. I'm just going back to look, make sure I got this right. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
ace 7 definitely going to get looked up here. I think ace 10 has the decision to probably want to raise. I think just doesn't want to invite in the similar stack in the big blind. Ace 7, ace 10 doing very well against a 4 blind range. So that makes a ton of sense, just to sort of isolate, kick it up a little. You don't want to give the big blind the action to call with the hand exactly like that is
first
the
all
position.
in.
So
Yeah.
ace 10, ace 7 could have a knockout right away. 10 and a 7 arrive 9 times out of 10. We will see a knockout now. A 7-7 only, 2 outs, 1 to come, or we will be 8-handed. It is not, and it is GG. And again, 4 blinds get in ace 7 off first in on the late position there. Can't blame him for going. And Sven does get the knockout, although it's not a knockout tournament. Good start for him. Chips up a little bit, and we will continue on 8-handed. Quick exit from our short stack.
Yeah.
All right.
The other short stacks are relieved.
Yeah.
Although no one's
Yes.
too short.
Yes, they are. I got the chat up here too on the side as we see. Got the Pex. What's up, man? Good to see you. Got a fairly GTO viewer in the house. We see some friendly faces. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. Again, I know there's a lot happening right now in the world. There's a ton of action. The World Cup has been super exciting down to the Final Four here. You been following it all, Mike? Who do you like?
I haven't, man. I've been so although every room that I'm playing in at the World Series, there's TVs everywhere. People are just completely enthralled with what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I'm indifferent. If the US can win, great. But it's just cool to see how everybody cares so much about it from all over the world. So it just
Yeah.
creates a lot of camaraderie in all these poker rooms.
Yeah, US did have a kind of dream run going. They were off to a fast start. They won their group. They did beat Bosnia in the next round, and then they got knocked out to Belgium in the round of 16. So that was a bummer. They got beat up pretty good. 4-1. I actually went to that game in Seattle, and
Oh,
they are
cool.
no longer. Now we're down to 4. So the top 4 teams actually made it. It's France, Spain today, and then tomorrow is England versus Argentina to go to the final. So pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Big names there as we see aces on the button. That's exciting. And Jack 4 off is going to peel one, king pairs, and a big underdog to win this hand is Jack 4. Needs a Jack only if he even gets to see a river or, some creative bluffing mechanism. But aces here, pretty strong hand with this board.
I think there's a world where he actually checks back sometimes, but
Yeah,
I think
I
he's
could see that.
mostly betting here. Yeah.
I could see checking back, but Beriuzy. If you're Beriuzy, there are bluffs. There's ace X, there's club draws, there's you're not super far down in the range. This is not going to be a card Beriuzy loves. If he thought he was ahead, he knows he lose to a lot of the hands that he was beating, but he was in bad shape.
I'm actually curious about this defend. Like I'm not totally sold on having to put money in here pre-flop, but yeah, I mean, as played on this board, check call, and check fold. Yeah, there's not much you can do here. So actually, like, if Osmirko was opening into one of the shorter stacks, he would have gotten no value here. Like they would have just folded that hand. But because Beriuzy has enough chips and feels confident, obviously post flop, uh, he got pre flop and 2 streets of value. So pretty lucky for Osmirko. Sven opening here the king jack. Gonna see a defend here from Allison. Yeah, not too interesting. Check fold. And you sent me the Instagram. Man, I don't even know how to use this stuff.
Yep. It's there. You're in there. You're tagged. We got the tweets out. We got 50 cash. You guys got to retweet. Guess who wins? That is pinned. We're gonna have 3 giveaways as well. $50 GG tickets. I am pumped up. I'm ready. I feel like honestly, this was the first year I didn't play day 1 in the main, and I got up to 180. So I can't say I have any really
Nice.
regrets. It was just sort of a scheduling thing and what was going on. But I do feel I'm very motivated. I'm very much into the game. I want to get better. I want to study. I want to learn. I want to dive back in. I'm ready for the Bahamas. I think I'm gonna go for the whole series and get organized, get ahead there, be early, be locked in, not be like coming day of or day late or late regging. Just come in and give a full go. I'm actually curious what they're gonna do. GG is so aggressive. They went from 50 mil, 60 mil. I think who knows what's going to be this year, but there's going to be a lot of events there as we see a 3-bet pot. And this is going to be interesting. Ace 4 suited gets a beautiful flop on a, kind of semi bluff, taking that wheel suited ace and making an aggressive maneuver. And ace jack suited, unfortunately, it's going to be really tough to be able to continue here. I mean, this is, again, it's a decent board, but you're crushed to ace king, you're crushed to value, you're drawing. You happen to not have the diamond, right? Which is actually true, where you don't if you make that queen of diamonds or a jack of diamonds. So that is a nice pickup. Hey, Allison gets exactly what orders in that hand, and Osmirko kind of handcuffed there. Anything differently you do there? Is that just a little unlucky for that flop and that board? I don't know if
I think
you can do much with ace jack suited.
Oh, with the ace jack, I mean, I guess you could peel on the flop. You can also just put the money in pre, I suppose, just because Allison's going to find plenty of bluffs. Again, I against these like better aggressive players, I feel like when you have close to the top of your range, like I would feel compelled to just put the money in. But yeah, I think he picks it up here with Jack 4. I think like the most interesting part of that hand was not the flat, which is pretty normal for the ace jack suited, but the sizing that Allison chose to go on the flop, which was 240, leaving an SPR of exactly 1 on the turn. So the it would be a pot size shove on the turn, kind of maximizing his fold equity. I assume that he's going to jam the turn if he gets called, but I'm not sure. But I think it's interesting to see like what people size out of position in these 3-bet pots. So now he opens the 3-5 suited, flops. This is going to be interesting. Like there's a lot of small betting on these boards. We'll see. This is actually for Rodrigo's hand. This is really annoying because now his 2-pair draw isn't live. I think Allison double barrels here because it's like the worst hand he can possibly have. And he has no hearts, so he's unblocking hearts. I mean, I think this is going to work. Like his visibility on the river out of position here is so low. It's hard for him to even call here because like how is he going to defend to another bet? How is he going to improve his hand? His equity is just like stuck. He needs a 9 river, or a 4. And even still, he doesn't want to call another bet if it's a 4. So
Yep.
well played
nice
by
execution. Allison just getting right runouts, right pressure, right time, and understanding the reason. Look at that Brazilian row. Just 4 in a row. Brazil 4 versus 4. It's Brazil versus the field here as we see 4 other countries. Austria does find a way to the final table. It's just kind of the way it's been. Austria and Brazil automatically almost having a final table position locked in, as there is again just a very dominant performance for Brazil today, and very likely we'll have a winner come from there. Although Beriuzy has something to say about that. Sven also has chips and has gotten it done in the past, as we see a 9-5 and 7-3. Not too much going on here. Does Sven want to take a shot and bluff with the worst basically possible hand can have? Nope.
Pretty
right. 9-5 takes it down.
Yeah, low key hand.
Yeah, not too much going there.
I mean, can you imagine him just folding 9-8 suited? I can't.
Nope. Jack 8 off, and again, Jack 8, this is questionable to defend. This is a risk premium pretty high right in the middle there. This hand is going to have a hard time playing post flop, even if it's ahead and actually is dominating here, and still is going to get very, very tough to win a pot, as we see. That's going to probably just end it, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think Osmirko is holding Jack 7. Maybe starts calling with Jack 8. It's kind of an interesting thing, like, when the chip leader's opening really wide, you feel compelled to defend wider, but then you just end up in so many dicey spots post out of position against a chip leader. So I think maybe a better approach against someone like Allison is Allison is to maybe just jam and 3-bet him more frequently and try not to go post out of position against them. It's like, it just seems kind of like suicidal to like try to navigate these spots, especially with a hand that like you can't flop a flush draw. A hand like Jack 8.
I do want to remind everyone that we do have the Twitch stream, the YouTube stream, And I do want to say thank you. What's up, Action Brown? Yeah, I did the Table One podcast with the boys. They do a great job, so that was fun. Got to do that in person, and I enjoyed that. So glad that you like that. I am a big fan of podcasts. I think it's great. Poker. Someone was asking about that and why has poker grown so much? I think there is just so much content out. There's so many different creators. There's so much different short content, long content, podcast content, streamers, and it's going to get out of the way. Aces to
pretty
nines.
big
That was
fold.
potentially a problem. Does avoid a big issue there.
So I late reg day one of the main. Like I played the last 2 levels, and lo and behold, I was at Justin Young's table. So it was fun. It was fun.
He's great.
My table
he's
was
one of those
tough.
guys that just talks, has a great time. I think he's a great ambassador for poker. Just kind of, he really does enjoy it and sort of embodies what it's about to be a pro and have a good time as well. So yeah, it's great to see. He's fun. He's one of those guys that you like to see, even though he's a really good player. He's fun to kind of get the table talking and have a good time.
Yeah, we were joking around a lot. I like needling him. Yeah, I don't know. We have a fun time at the table. It made for a good day, or for like a fun couple of levels. But I was very happy for the day to end. I had Reardon to my left. We had some other pros at the table, but table draw is so important. But having fun is important too. So this is pretty interesting. So he's deciding to check. This is a nice combo, right? Like he can turn open-ended, he can turn a flush draw, he can turn his 2-pair, even though his 2-pair can be kind of tainted outs, but against a hand like Queen Jack. But it works. Like, I mean, like that's such a cool hand. That's such a cool hand. He check raises bottom pair against a better bottom pair, and gets him to fold. And as he should. Like if we're in the A7 spot, like we don't want to be calling this check raise. It's like suicidal now to be playing this huge pot. And again, turn ace, he can be losing to a straight or better, maybe not a better 2-pair. Wouldn't make much sense, but yeah, just the power of taking the initiative in the hand and having some semi bluffs or bluffs in your range can be so effective, especially like these 2 medium-sized stacks, where he's going to be careful what hands he calls the check raise with. But I think that was great. I love those types of hands.
Yeah, it was again, it does show you how hard, and when you take that aggressive line, good things can happen a lot. First of all, it's hard for people to have anything, and even there he's dominated and he does get the better hand to fold. So yeah, just a really nice illustration of aggression and having a good selection to do it, where you got the back doors to continue. And yeah, really,
but
really nice. So far, some great play.
Not an intuitive board texture to have check raises from the big though, because it favors the opener's range. King 10-7, like you would think, it's hard to find the proper check raises on that King 10-7 rainbow. But
wow,
yeah,
look at this cooler for Rodrigo. I mean, this is gonna. I think this is.
I didn't even see that Osmirko was in this hand with ace jack. Yeah,
yeah.
so
This is a problem because he's got kind of hits top and bottom the missionary, and the missionary is in a world of hurt. This is literally worst case scenario where you have a value hand that's buried, and I don't really see a path out. I mean, is there a world on this stacked up where he calls and then like some scare card comes, but I don't know. I just think this is gonna be.
Think the money just maybe goes in on the flop.
This feels pretty close to about an unavoidable cooler. I mean, it would be special. I believe, was it Rodrigo that folded jacks or folded tens to min raise or something? He does call, so at least it's not over yet. But I believe, you remember that? I think he like open folded jacks, or like he min raised and got raised and just folded, or someone raised and he folded. It was like
Was that him?
Insane. I
where
believe
someone
so.
opened and he mucked jacks?
Yeah, I think so.
I was watching that.
I'm pretty sure.
That was
actually,
wild.
see, because I think I texted him on WhatsApp afterward. If it was him, I'll just look real quickly and see if it was him.
Oh, so if that was him,
that was April 28th, because I said
Yeah.
that JJ fold I said dialed in. He goes, yeah, I think TT is a mix and JJ seems a VPIP, but good fold exploitive in this one with the laugh
That
face.
was that was the
He
craziest
just
fold maybe I've ever
absolutely,
seen.
he just stone cold folded jacks to a min raise, and the guy had queens or kings, right? I think, or aces even. He was right, but crazy.
This is,
Which makes me think, okay, yeah, I was saying if there's ever a world, but no, this is ace jack top two here. I mean, you have the nuts other than a set, and you are going to call and love to see it. So Rodrigo needs a 7 from you know where on the river. It's got to be.
this would be wild if
Somewhere.
you're no.
Oh, that would be a little too much. I mean, for Artem there. So no, not going to be. And now Rodrigo is one of the short stack. 2 Brazilians on the short is stacks, and then you
Not
got
good.
fishing boat right there, and AP Allison is your massive chip leader actually by a lot. He is double, essentially Artem and Beriuzy, just about double there. 2.6 mil as kings for Artem and ace 8. He's going to go for a 3-bet, and everything is working for Artem here. And I gotta talk about Cal, talking about energy and one of the all-time heaters at the WSOP. Tell me about what he's got going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Deeb posted or he said that like he's making his caches count. If you look at Cal's caches, he's like nothing really, and then won the 10K Raz, won the 10K horse, and now he's four-handed in the 10K six max. I mean, he's such a boss. And again, like speaking of unconventional, I've known him for a long time, and he's helped me a lot with my game, but also it's impossible to emulate or to do what he does. I mean, he's just one of one. I tried to play like him for many years, and I just lost a lot of money. So I had to like just take the pieces that I, you know, could and add them to my game. And he's not. I don't think he can win. Look, if he wins the 800 after this, if he can somehow jump in the 25K horse, he could have a chance at Player of the Year. But even winning the 10K Raz Championship, the 10K Horse Championship, and if he wins this, he still would not be Player of the Year. So
that's insane. And did he play? Did he go to Europe or no? I guess there's still Bahamas too, right? There's still Bahamas.
He rarely goes and goes to these stops.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to like Jeju because he won a package. But if he doesn't win a package, he really just like, he likes to just play here in Vegas, absolutely crush the online streets, and then, you know, crush the live streets out here too.
Yeah, it's hey, listen, he's got something that's working. Don't mess with it. Seems like he's got a formula and he's on an app. That's one of the all-time heaters though. To win, I think 3 bracelets in a summer has rarely been done. There's been a few people have done that, but to go like back to like in a week or 10 days or whatever this is, and
back to back tournaments, 10K Raz, Reg the horse, 10K horse.
That is not gnarly. And speaking of that, we got a 3 giveaways. So that is 3 $50 GG tickets. Must hit the subscribe button, must hit the thumbs up. That is only if you're enjoying the show. We appreciate it. We are back. We are on season 2 of 2026, and we are also giving away 50 cash pin tweet. I'll get that link for you guys and drop it in there, but you can go to my X and hit that retweet. Guess who wins? Don't have to be right. Third into the tournament, into the giveaway, I should say, for 50. I gotta find it.
Fives. I think he just, yeah, dude, this is the most frustrating thing in the world. Fishing boat folded fives on the button as he should off of this stack. I mean, he could shove, but it's like pretty dicey spot to shove. And it's just ace 9-5, you know, he folds fives and he's like, if he had like 25 big, even he might find a way to VPip it, but yeah, it's pretty frustrating as the short stack. You're like, oh, if I had more chips, I would have seen a flop. I would have flopped a set. You try to forget what you folded, you know, but when it's a set, it's hard to forget. You're like, please just no 5 on the flop. Beriuzy opening button, king 9, pretty standard. Dalton has a little bit of it, like he could do something crazy with the deuces in the big. Allison, yeah, I mean, Beriuzy's showing obviously that he's gonna take spots, he's gonna open light, he's gonna play back. I mean, I would venture to say he's pretty close to chip EV. Seems like he wants to win. He doesn't care if he ladders from, you know, 7th to 6th or 6th to 5th, which, you know, says a lot about how he's going to play a lot of these spots. Like some players might not want to open the button here with King 9 or Queen 9 type hands, but Beriuzy's just gonna. It's a profitable spot for him to open in chips, and he's going to take it.
He's
As
gonna have
played
a win.
here,
Yeah, he's
go
just
ahead.
gonna get to win, it looks like.
Yeah. Be interesting if he decides to go thin for value here, and then Dalton turns his hand into a bluff.
I don't think so. This would be,
Yeah, probably
that
not.
would be pretty greedy, but yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of figure known as a jack, but still, I don't think that he's just happy to get that one through. Multi-way pot there, 9 on the river, good enough. Ace queen here in the big, as no one has much. Brazil on Brazil, blind on blind. Probably see a limp here, but I guess he's covering actually, right? So he could just play aggressively.
Wow.
But he shoves it. Okay. Yeah, Pedro can't fold. 1.2 million on the line. This is a big pot. Jack 9 very live. The ace comes, needs runner. Diamond's no good. Needs a misdeal as the turn is a drawing dead situation. So double for Pedro. He's got some ammo, a little extra chips. And again, the Brazilian row there. All 4 stay in. The Pedro got the race car out, little F1. Shot out one of the stops. He's got a race car as his picture, and he is back in it in a big way. A couple real hands, suited ace, suited king jack on the button. So Artem going to fold with 2.8 million, ace 3 suited. Okay, that's going to affect this hand because now ace 10 suited will play, and king jack suited though from a 15 blind stack. This is an interesting spot. It's a lot of hands, but you do realize fishing boat's going to be playing pretty tight here. Could he just shove? I mean, on the min raise, or do you think that he gives respect to fishing boat, who's going to be very tight and hasn't played a hand in a very vulnerable stack? Calling doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
With
this is a really gross spot. He's 3-bet folding. He's 3-bet folding this. He's not 3-bet calling this.
Yeah, I was just thinking, and now ace 10 suited. I mean, you're getting min raised. Like, this is also awkward. Nothing feels good here for me. Right? You don't really want to be calling, but it's like calling is kind of seems okay, but you're just, again, you're going to flop an ace and get stacked, or a 10 and get stacked to queens or jacks. Like so. I don't know. All options. These are the ones that these are the most interesting to me because I genuinely feel there's a lot of different ways to play it, and none of them feel great for me.
It feels kind of suicidal to shove because it just seems so nutted by Dalton. But this is, you know, a lot of what these spots come down to, as we're just seeing over and over, is who's in position, you know, and who's taking the lead in the hand. It's like, you know, for mid-stakes mastery with B Paris that we, you know, our course that we have together. One of the things that or maybe it was the fundamentals course. I don't remember which one, but I just say like be heads up, be in position, and be the aggressor. Just like check these boxes off. Be heads up, be the aggressor, and be in position. And as you want to just do those things as often as possible. And we're just seeing it over and over and over in different, you know, contexts. Pretty powerful for no limit hold'em. Like fishing boat doesn't want to call. They both had marginal hands. It was the guy that was in position that took the lead that won the hand. They both like didn't like the spot, you know? So I just think it's important to like recognize this. So we have trips for Sven, and it looks like this checked down, and now he's going pot. I mean, he may very well get called here.
I don't think Allison. I just think he doesn't think he's going to just take a pot size bluff here. And the 9, he does get called. You're right. I guess what I'm thinking, what bluffs he has. Again, that comes down to that similar to what you're talking about when you have a checkbox. Is he capable? Right? Does he fight for pots like that? If it's a guy that just he doesn't think is gonna just try to win that pot without more time, and it was very close. So yeah, I think very interesting. Very, very interesting hand and a nice pickup for Sven, who is now with 1.5 million, and we will see a walk there. A walk.
Yeah, the call by Allison is a respectful call. It's like, okay, Sven is capable. He can have like, Jack 4 of diamonds and throw out a bet here to get ace highs to fold and king highs. He can have some missed straight draws. So, and the way Allison checked back, he's protecting his check back range on the flop and the turn. And now he has showdown value, so that's why he looks him up there.
Ace king. So all right, fair enough. This is again
Chop,
not
chop.
super deep. Yeah, this is everyone with the live flush draw. All the suits are available, and there is a chance for something nasty to happen here, but very likely we'll see a chop pot. Beriuzy in the big here. He's also covering by a good amount, right? So the pressure is not really. He's not so worried. He's happy to get it in here. Hopefully, he can dominate somehow. Ace queen suited or gonna flip sometimes. Gonna have the same hand. We're gonna see it. It's gonna be naughty, nice, or spice. That's what we like to say here on the GG Millions. What will we see? It is a little spicy. A heart would be interesting, and that'll chop it up. 50-50, nowhere to go on the turn. That is a completely even chop as ace king, no harm, no foul. We'll move to the next hand. We got 58 of you. And hit the thumbs up. We can do better than that. We're going to go ahead and get you guys going here for the giveaways. And there's some Wainio 75 in the chat. Does say a goal. Looks like it was a PK for Spain. So that is off and running that game. Potential upset, although 2 of the favorites in the tournament right there battling. Big matchup today and tomorrow. Again, Argentina, England. I know there's a lot of soccer fans out there. Great game. Great World Cup it's been. We'll see how it goes. Queen, Jack, King 3. Blind on blind, king high in the lead. The most interesting spot in poker. I think this is one of those things where, again, I like to say, if you're having a little bit of hard time in tournament poker, you're looking around, you can't quite, you got to stop looking at, oh, I busted ace jack to ace 10 for 8 blinds or 14 blinds, a flip. Look at the pots, the spots where you're battling. Look where the blind on blind where you're just giving fair fight. King 3 suited, queen jack off, and queen jack. Again, not the best hand. Finds a way, semi-bluff, decent hand, does pick it up there. Queen jack, nice bet, picking up the extra outs for a straight draw and does force a slightly better hand to fold. So again, nice pickup, and I think that's one spot people can do a lot of work on is blind on blind. And I do have a weekly Substack article highlighting the guest, the final table, the payouts, and some news in poker on the world. That's every Tuesday. I did put that there. That is a free thing you guys can check out. And again, very much happy to have you guys here. We had a week off last week and would love to see a deeper run from some. I didn't really have, this was one of the more boring years in terms of close friends or sweats for the main event for me. I didn't have much deep action or anything to get excited about, but here we see GTO Wizard get involved and is telling us to bet large as a favored spot on the turn. GTO Wizard, again, we saw that come up at the live coverage, WSOP and ESPN, of course, doing the face analytics stuff as well, coming up. Pretty interesting about bluffing or not. I didn't get to see that, but I heard about it and saw some articles on that. Pretty interesting, as we do see a bet large, and that is a bet large in the 228, as the 10-7 is saying that AP should be calling here. Does do that, and 8-9 has a pretty nice spot on this run out.
Against, it's worth noting, Allison's checking back. He's protecting his check back range quite a bit in multiple spots. This is one of them, and this is an unfortunate run out for him. He's gonna have some 5x, he's gonna have some 6x. He could have Jack 9, 10 9. I mean, it's just gonna be so hard for Allison to fold. There's just gonna be so many bluffs. He can have missed. He could conceivably be value betting worse than what Allison has. Like a hand like 7-6 or even like ace 4. Yeah, it's just gonna be so hard for him to fold.
Yeah, and this is
That
again when you go from a Allison's perspective, he is thinking, is Pedro capable? What has he got? He's in the blinds. Like there's just so many bluffs there. So a really nice bet size, nice execution, and can't blame him for calling there. And a lot of history between those two as Pedro gets the better of him there and does get himself into a really nice position with 2 million chips, kind of tied for third. With Beriuzy, just about. So they're right in that same wheelhouse, and a very tight, very tight match going. We have one short stack, one big stack, and then everyone else is pretty healthy.
what's he laughing about?
So we
Allison
see
was doing. Go ahead. Sorry.
the limp with Jack 7 off won't work. King's gonna shoot it up to goes pretty small, a little bit inviting here, smaller than 3x. Happens to have kings. Wonder if he would do this with. I guess he's gonna be balanced, but doesn't make a big bet. And Jack 7 off is not a great hand, but tempting for the price.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are going to be balanced in these spots for the most part. But in live poker, it's funny, even online sometimes against some of the weaker regs, I want to say, or less experienced players, where they're pretending to have like a 3-bet fold range off of like 14 bigs, but they really just have aces, you know? Like they're 3-bet, they see people that are, 3-bet calling or 3-bet folding off of shallow stacks, and they pretend they do it, so they're like, I can do that with aces then. But it's like, but they don't have the bluffs, right? They're not doing it with like ace 10 off and like ace 4 and stuff. But in these spots, people are protecting their hands. Like Allison is protecting his check back range quite a bit. He's like, it makes it very hard to bluff him. When he checks back, he's now called down. In the first hand against Sven, he checked back his straight draw, turned to 9, checked back again and called a river bet. And then against Pedro, he checked back and called twice. So what this does is it really disincentivizes people to be bluffing multiple streets against him, or even one street for that matter. And it's forcing them to maybe use bigger sizes to try to get bluffs through. And it sucks. It sucks to be against somebody that's going to make you, he's going to make you like, I think Helmuth kind of plays is like, he's going to show down and he's going to make you like put in all the chips, or put in huge bets, which is like really uncomfortable because then he can just start checking back like top of his range too. And people will just bluff it off. So, yeah, it just makes for a very interesting turn and river play and decisions. This is an interesting spot. So I'm going to look briefly back at the action.
Yeah, he's gonna get to hit gin here as he does make the straight. And again, Jack 9, it's tough ask to fold. If you're folding top pair, you open Jack 9 off, you flop top pair 9-4-7. Yes, some straights.
This was 3 ways. Sven called the small with ace jack. He folded on the flop. Osmirko called, and then wait, did he? Yeah, he did that.
Nice fold. Nice fold there. I mean,
Oh, he
still
folded on his turn. Yeah, and then so Osmirko, I believe. Let me just to make sure. Okay, check through on the flop with the 4-6, And then Osmirko bet turn and river. Yeah. Pedro, yeah. Well played by Pedro. So here, Rodrigo opens the A7. I didn't realize that this is Rodrigo, who plays like so unorthodox. Having seen that FT a couple of weeks ago. Fishing boat defends king 9 suited, which I think is pretty normal. And I mean, there's a world where, I mean, maybe he's too short, but this is generally a board texture where he can find some leads, but off of the stack size, it's not going to work.
Yeah, not a good flop. King 9 suited gets in there. He is the shortest now, very much so, with 9 blinds. And he is unfortunately here, can't do much 7 high.
Yep.
And
Well,
another walk for Hayalson. Got the 3-9 off. Happy for that. No, not going to complain as we still go on 8-handed here. Playing to a winner, ace 10 suited for fishing boat. And this looks like a collision for 9 blinds, just under, and 9s.
yep.
Gonna look to get involved. And probably just thinking, does he want to shove or min raise? And I guess, you know, he's kind of at that awkward stacked up. Maybe just want to try to take it down. He could get called by worse and avoid a strange situation. So 9s will be calling here. This is for sure going to go in and going to have a flip to take us to 7 or a double for fishing boat. Big swing for everyone. We do have some shorter stacks, and here he does call. 9s are in the lead. Queen X is the over, but no good. Needs a 10, ace, 2 to come. Some running straights as well. There's part of that. Needs a king, jack. I'm sorry, king, a 10, or an ace on the river. Slow peel. It's club, and a good game has been called. The 5 of
GG.
clubs on the river. GG, fishing boat. The Grego's all in. Got the flags out. People giving the respect. Fishing boat, a little bit of the unknown, not a regular here, and is going to try to do better next time, but he'll take it for a good score, a good return, and a good showing for him. Didn't get to do too much. Couldn't quite get going in the game today, but did at least ladder a spot. And I'm blind, so these guys, again, know each other pretty well. Talk to me about what you are isolating here. Queen 5 off. Do you want to try to raise, take this down, or is that good enough to just check back?
I'm probably doing some mixing would be my guess. Although you got to be kind of careful around these stack sizes where people are going to start having the check jams. Like at final tables, I think spots play a little bit more straightforward. People aren't just like recklessly check jamming king 4, you know. In chips, people might find the wider limp jam. They might find wider in chips. But right around like, you know, the 18 to 25 big blind range, you got to be real mindful of the ISOs that you take from the big blind. Queen 5 is like going to play semi well in position, but I imagine that, you know, right around here, the high-low offsuit hands will be mixing at some frequency. So there's limp check, check, and now he's deciding if he wants to turn this hand into a bluff. He decides not to and just realizes equity. And I think it's probably going to go check.
The problem with the queen high though too here, it's a weird one where you just don't think your opponent generally is going to have like just like a, you know, 9-5 off and just give up. So you kind of don't expect to win here, right? Like that's the reality. So it's
There's
sort of
like
awkward.
there's two schools of thought here. I agree with you. Like the queen high against the hands that want to show down, that the way that Dalton's playing this, it's like queen 5 is like not quite good enough. But then it's like you can't win every pot. Sometimes you just have the worst hand and it's a small pot and you kind of give up. But then there's, you know, the more extreme version where he puts in like a big bet here. I don't even think this is that big of a bet. I imagine Dalton's just going to find a call here.
The weird part too for from Dalton's perspective, what does he have? Like what is he now betting? You know, did he not bet with an 8, a 4, a 6 ever? Doesn't really have a flush. The jack, you know, it's
It's
running jack, so it's a
reasonable.
weird one, yeah.
It's reasonable for him to have showdown value there, Pedro, because the turn's a flush, right? So like he can check back a pair on the flop, and then the turn the flush comes in, and it's reasonable for him to check back again. That's the cool thing about like choosing your sizings is super important. Um, when he goes 80 into 115, like he keeps all of his value in there, all of his thin value. And then he can have like he can comfortably have his bluffs in there for that size. If he goes like 1.5x pot or 2x pot or something, like he's just massively polar, you know, and he can only rep very few hands. So in that spot, because he's kind of capped, he's like, he doesn't want to choose too big of a size with his bluffs. He wants to have all of his value and thin value and bluffs for like one size, I would guess.
Yeah, and here's
So
two
it's very
hands.
believable.
You're absolutely right. Here's two hands with some potential. We got a gut shot. Queen high is actually ahead, and Jack 6 suited, 2 live cards, and a spade would be good. So that is you know, a very much open for who wants this one.
Interesting.
And Jack 6, I mean, calling here is not super comfortable. You are on a paired board now. You have a Jack high flush draw, but it's against the small blind, big blind range. So this is really close too. I don't know. Rodrigo, again, bit unconventional, willing to go for a battle. I'm curious actually what he does here. This is kind of a weird one.
If he pulls the trigger here and shoves, it is super, super, super sick. Unbelievably hard spot to pull the trigger. Nothing feels right to him.
Yeah,
Call.
it's awkward. If he somehow he's like if he were to even call, could he do that? Because he'd call 2 and now he'd have 900 in the pot. He'd have 440. He'd have about a 0.5 SPR stack to pot ratio. And maybe is there some give ups ever from Pedro? I don't know. I mean, there's multiple ways to play his hand. It feels like a lot of hands with the Jack 6 suited, but it's also the board's paired and it's Jack high flush draw with one to come. So he does get out of the way. Nice execution. Pedro just gets the best of that spot. Also did have the best hand. Had a queen high with a gut shot. So very reasonable and nice pickup there. Nice pickup. I think Rodrigo was genuinely torn what to do there.
Pedro, worth noting, like in that spot, and I could be wrong, but I think that he has way more ace X. Pedro does. Because Rodrigo should just be jamming over the raise pre-flop with a bunch of his ace X. And Pedro has basically all of his ace X. With the exception of maybe some of the weaker ones that he might shove just open shove into the big blind. Yeah.
Mystery hand. First one
right,
of the season 2 of 2026. We got Mr. Wasserman, Small Edges Poker in the building here today, going to talk us through it. And I do want to ask you, as we dive this mystery hand, what is next for you? So the World Series winding down, Cal on the heater of a lifetime, your roommate buddy. What's next? What series will you play next? And are you kind of taking a break? Or are you feeling really motivated about poker right
now? After this mystery hand, I want to like really, I'm going to hang myself out here and just try to guess.
Okay. All right. Let's see. This mystery hands are fun. All right. Queen Jack, top pair, weak top pair, covering. So you know you can only get hurt. You still have 2 million if things go wrong. I don't really see it as of now. Beriuzy, I can't imagine getting away from this as it stands. Let's see what the best play is though.
They always start off so innocent. And then it just get deeper and deeper into it, and we're just like scratching our heads and rolling our eyes. I mean, instantly check, and now Queen Jack is like not as good. Although, yeah, I mean, he's certainly not ready to fold yet. To one bet. So let's see.
Yeah, we expect a bet here now from Dalton, I would think.
So it's like we want to think about what hands Dalton wants to check back on this flop. Maybe hands like his good draws, like nut flush draws. Possible. I mean, I imagine King Jack of like hearts or Jack 10 of hearts is both maybe doing some betting and checking. It's tough. He could check back a hand like 5, 6s, 7s, 8s.
Ace king.
Of course, yeah, he can have ace king. He can also have like 10s and jacks, 8s, 10s, and jacks.
Let me ask you, if you have ace king here though on that turn, are you betting that small with the gut shots, the straight draws, the heart draws? Are you going to bet that ball? It's such an important pot for you. This is a great mystery hand. I'm genuinely curious here. It does to me seem strong. I feel like he's got a strong hand here. What's your guess? I'm gonna say he has it.
Just the fact that it's a mystery hand and it seems so obvious that this hits his check back range. It's an underbluff line, I think, in general. I'm gonna say that he's bluffing here with like Jack. I'm gonna say he's bluffing.
I don't think he's opening. Okay, yeah. So all right. So he has ace.
Thin
he does
value.
have the ace, not ace king, but does go for value. Next fold, Beriuzy doesn't make a meal of it. Does get out of the way. Ace 8 suited. Nice.
I took
nice.
the other side, Jeff.
I get it. I like to have devil's advocate. We can't just all be
Yeah.
always on the same. I kind of I stabbed out with it, but that yeah, it is wide open still. It is still open, and I'll tell you who's at a great final table. Artem. He's sort of silently up to
Oh yeah,
3 mil, and he's doing well right now.
So post World Series, I'm going to finish off, you know, most of what there is to play for this month, and then my trainer that I've been, you know, working out with, become like friends with over the last year. We're going to go into the mountains and do some mushrooms and reconnect. You know,
there you go.
Get some things in order in my head or out of order or both. And yeah,
get grounded,
come back
refocus into the second half of the year. And this is a very interesting hand. The diamonds, ace suited diamonds for AP is in a tricky spot. He does improve, but I mean, man, this doesn't feel like a spot to call. It says 100% fold. Like you lose to draws come in, your diamonds miss, but you hit the 9. So nice bluff. Artem showing us the full spectrum of abilities, making hands, bluffing, calling, playing the game, and wow, chip leader, 3.5 mil. Artem off and running there. Nice.
You know what's interesting? It seems so crazy and unintuitive to ace 5 of hearts. In chips and probably in ICM, his hand shows up as a triple. I would guess, at the very least in chips. It doesn't interact with either of the flush draws. He doesn't have a pair, and it's just like unbelievable how often ace 4, ace 5 that unblocks your opponent's flush draws just shows up as a triple, right? Like your opponent has all the pair plus straight draw, all the just like queen X, king X, like yeah, it's really hard to pull the trigger and it's hard to find these spots in game. But I'm pretty confident if we looked it up that hand in the solver just shows up as a triple. I mean, it's pretty cool to see someone do it at the final table and find it.
There's Pedro with the aggressive blind on blind. Pick up there, 2 million chips.
I'm just looking back at what. Oh, so he just shoved 15 of 16 effective. Yeah. Yeah, before the World Series, I ended up final tabling Commerce Circuit main. It was like a 1700. I went in kind of like tied for the chip leader. The FT was crazy. The way that it played out was like just I ended up getting third. All the people that had the chip, we all had like we're even in chips 1, 2, and 3. We all finished like 6, 5, and 3. But yeah, it was nice. Like I free rolled basically my summer of buy-ins for the World Series. Yeah.
What did that
So
pay?
85 or something, right around
Crazy.
there.
Nice. Great
Yeah,
momentum.
pretty.
It's nice to come into the series with the stamp. Big score.
Yeah, it took some pressure off.
That's great.
Here, this is an interesting spot.
Yes.
Whoever bluffs is going to win.
Yeah,
What were
these
you
are
going to
the
say?
monotone boards are very, very when when there's four to a flush, it's really, really curious on who takes it down. It's so often no one has anything. But yet you gotta know when to stab, how much, what is your opponent willing, capable of? What do you he 3-4 here actually does have some showdown, but again, it's not a hand you want to check call, right? You don't really want to be check calling. So he does stab it, and he is going to win. He had the best hand, but he was probably not going to win if he checked. So nice execution, nice awareness, and a very nice pickup. 63K next payout, and then up to 81. So we will have some jumps get going. Top 5, make that 6-figure score. Well, let us know where you're watching from. Pleased to have you, Mike Wasser. How many times? Do you know? I actually, you're one of the only ones I think I've lost track. How many times you've been on the show? Do you know?
I don't know.
Wow.
It's got to be approaching double digits.
So I think 8 for sure, and yeah, maybe 9 right in there. So again, great to have you. And tell us about Small Edges Poker. What's the latest with that? I know UMB Paris, you guys have done a ton of work with that and have a great program. I know Brian again has been on I think also at least 3 times, maybe 4 or 5 at this point. One of the ones
Yeah.
who's put a lot of work and time, and one of the greats in the game. But hold that thought, because we are going to see a big collision here. Queens to Ace King suited, as we'll talk about Small Edges Poker. This is Small Edges, Queen's Small Edge against Ace King suited. These are tier 1 is Ace King suited. Queen's technically tier 2. I mean, this is a classic, the instant flip, and Ace King suited queens. If you ask them, son, which side you want the queens. They are in the lead. It is a real math thing. It does feel like a flip, a dead flip. It's pretty even. Spade gone for the queens. The flop is favorable for queens. Turn is clean. River 6 outs, 1 to come. 86% of the time, Pedro is going to deliver a knockout, and yes, he does. 2.1 million chips, and that is going to shake
GG
up
Dalton.
the layout. GG. The Greg goes all in. Gonna get a flag out, and Pedro racing fast. That's his avatar and his gift, and we're down to 6. So we do get that movement. Let's take me into, as we don't see too crazy of hands here, although 2 of the chip leaders and 2 suited hands. But tell me about Small Edges Poker. What's the latest with that, and what are you and Brian cooking with that?
Yeah, we did the update for 2026. We update it every year with like the latest trends, and then maybe some new hand histories or new formats if there's any insights to like something like mystery bounties. And just for this stream, I'll do 3 copies at a huge discount. I'll just do a sale price of 99. And I'll give you the code in a few minutes. I gotta create it in a second, but yeah, for the first 3 people that do it, we'll just do. That's a huge discount.
What is the course normally?
Basically, it's for the most part it's 299 or 297.
Nice.
So this is like a third of the price of the sale price. But yeah, anyway, yeah, there's like over 50 hours of content. We have all the different formats, like freeze outs. We go through a lot of Brian's hands histories. This is interesting spot here.
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say, this is really ugly for Beriuzy. I mean, on this run out blind on blind, everything misses. You got the strongest 8, and now you got the jack getting to just kind of comfortably value bet. Honestly, this would be a insane exploitative fold here, because like literally you beat everything but a jack for the practically, right? You have the there is a chance here against whatever, but it's like, all right, yeah, you got
I
to
don't
show
think
me
you
the
can
jack.
fold to Allison.
Yeah, no. It's just the run out is too. You don't have any of the stuff, the 9, the 7, the 5, the spade. It's just from a blocker perspective, too clean. And hey, Allison going to be back to chip leader with Artem slightly and Pedro, 3-way affair, and then it's the next two pretty tight, and then we got Rodrigo short as we see ace jack suited and jacks. A lot of firepower here. Rodrigo kicked off the party with the min raise as ace jack suited is going to step into it, and Beriuzy, this is a lot of hand, right? We're at still 33 blinds, but we're talking 6-handed jacks, and you're really, Rodrigo's short. So yeah, you're gonna be laying claim to the pot here.
I think he finds a not all in size here for the 4-bet. I don't think he just shoves. It's kind of
Wow.
he folds. Okay, I
Wow.
wasn't expecting that.
Again, I got to listen. The thing I will say, the audience at home, when you see stuff like that, when someone is not correct in the sense of, well, they did have the best hand, you got to think about what really is going on there. There's a min raise and then a re-raise off of under the gun open, best case scenario, worst case scenario, and he decided to fold. I think that is surprising, but it's not like insane, right? He's like going to see ace queen suited plus there. He's going to see ace king. He's going to be cooler sometimes. Rodrigo even might just wake up, and even if Artem's bluffing or doesn't have it, right? Rodrigo does have him, and there's 600K going out of his stack most of the time. So I don't think that's like a insane fold. And the whole card up bias, it's so easy to just look at the cards and like, oh yeah, of course you got to put it in. So I think that one is what I would say is that would be one to look at. That's a great hand to take, to analyze, to start thinking about with those stacks, that positions, what is the right play. And again, there's exploits, and then GTO Wizard wasn't involved that hand, but it's the game is intricate. It's like a box of chocolates. I love the Forrest Gump analogy in the sense where I say that, where it is every final table is different. Every payout's different. Every stack size is different. Everything is, you can't really take any spot as a slightly different. You can kind of get a lot of similarities, but everything's different. And Beriuzy, again, so much faith in his game, his abilities, and sometimes that means making a tight fold and not being right. Doesn't mean there's a reason he's here. He's coming in, not just limping in. So often Beriuzy is top 3. He's chip leader. He's got chips. I can promise you, it's not from being shy that he's getting those stacks. So he just happened to make a pass up there that was in good shape. But
yeah, he just wasn't thrilled in either direction and felt like off of 30 bigs, he can find other spots and other ways to get chips. And that's the thing, is like, even if he is ahead, he's going to have to get the money in pre-flop with that hand. And something that's pretty important about that hand is the sizing that Osmirko decided to take, where he went like over 3x against a 12 big line open. I think it's like kind of a sizing tell. But at the same time, he didn't want to 4-bet call it, didn't want to flat it, didn't want to shove it, so he just passed. So it's not unreasonable for sure. Here we're going to see Beriuzy open. I don't think Allison folds this hand. Just a question of, does he decide to 3-bet or call? And I think Pedro can overcall here. I think this hand tends to play pretty well in these spots, even if it's not suited. Oh, he folds. Maybe if the positions were different, or if it was heads up. It's interesting that he decides to fold that hand. Like if he had king 8 off or something like that, I think that he's doing a lot of folding. I feel like 5-6 maybe defends there. But if he's folding it, then I need to reconsider, because Pedro definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm fully with you. This has again been very high level. I will say Sean Deeb just had a great run in the WSW main. He was the guest on the day the World Series launched. He is, I believe, in the still current player of the year, or right there on it, right? You were mentioning Cal, but he was like shocked at some of the play. It was kind of a funny final table, but there are times where you just look at the lineup, you look at the pedigree of the players, and you know it's going to be world class. And again, today we're seeing very strong play. There's not really, satellite winners. We're not seeing guys that we don't don't know, Sven is a multiple winner. Rodrigo's multiple winner. Pedro, I believe 9 final tables. Allison, 8 final tables, hasn't won. Beriuzy has won, been here a bunch, and Artem also a very accomplished player. So this is a very tough final table and a great final 6. Like, we're seeing some household names and players with a lot of ability, a lot of skill, and it's really comes down to who's willing to go for it, who gets great situations, because it's really tight to call who's going to win this. There's many people that can finish this off, as tens get a welcome sight for a jam, and honestly, ace 8, yeah, for what's that, less than 6 blinds, going to call. Tens in good position to double here, needs to fade an ace or some shenanigans as the very clean flop. Spade would be interesting. Nope. And now a river. It is it. That's the dream. Tens, ace 8 off. Got to fade that one card on the river. Slow peel or fast. It is fast. And the 8, not enough. Tens going to get back in it. Very much so back in it. 750K. 6 left. Plenty of chips for a comeback now.
Yeah, it's been going the wrong way for Rodrigo since the beginning of the FT, and Pedro, literally the opposite. Started fairly short and is now contending for chip lead, roughly second chips. Sven's still hanging on. Has 20 bigs. Yeah, and Rodrigo's, I mean, he's willing to go for it. He's still trying to chip up.
Yeah, you
Can't
get a
really
little
do
glimpse
much
into
there.
Osmirko's strategy there. He goes for a large 3-bet. He could have gone smaller to isolate. Could have gone smaller. He kind of just ending it there, not really inviting a bluff, for a jam or some shenanigans, but does pick it up and does vie for the chip lead now. 3.5, challenging there.
Yeah, so maybe he is
Baruch,
just choosing bigger
ECU.
3-bet sizes in general with value. Because I thought with the ace jack suited, he doesn't have the top of his ranges frequently. So this is limp ISO call. So I think, well, he just checks back. I wonder why he doesn't even see bet here. I mean, I know the 10 is much better for Allison than it is for Pedro, but I imagine he's going to put a bet in here. Am I missing something? Yeah, he ISOs to 4x pre, and Allison called, and then check on the flop. Interesting. I mean, I guess if he calls, he's giving Pedro the chance to not put in much more money on the river. Like, he's trying to build the pot now. This will be interesting. He just gives him the walk. Not unreasonable. I thought maybe he'd go like, 2.5x or something and fold to a shove. Or even just limp and realize some equity, but 8-4 is pretty bad.
Ace 9 suited, reasonable hand, button pretty strong. Jack queen off again. You're in the big. It's a powerful hand, but it is dominated. It's frequently 2, does just call, and we get an interesting board with the queen jack off, over 2 overs and 1 spade. Certainly a hand that could get creative with on the deuce 3-10 against the wide opening range of the ace 9 suited.
I wonder if the queen jack finds any shoves from the big against the button open.
It's 20 bigs. There's also much shorter Rodrigo.
Yeah, just one other short stack.
This feels like a could check raise, and get crazy with you got some good turns, a 9, an 8, you got a good turn of a spade, you could be bluffing. Jack or queen can put you in the lead. Your button already is wide. I wouldn't be shocked to see a check raise here on this board.
It's a little, well, I was going to say it's uncomfortable off of this stack size.
You're right. It is. It's 20 bigs, right? 22 bigs. So it's not a ton of room to maneuver, but I do think there would be, he could go for that at a bit different stack depth, but it would have worked. But you're right. It is an awkward stack.
But also it can work in your favor if it's awkward. Like, the SPR is like such that he can check raise the flop and jam the turn when he turns equity, when he turns like, those good turn cards for him. So you could maybe use it in your favor as you're getting a little bit shallower.
That's another spot I would love to look at. Like, I think that would be super interesting to see like what different stack sizes you're able to get. Kind of, it favors for you to make that aggressive move. But again, another great hand to look at as we see pretty real hands here. Queen Jack suited in pairs. Beriuzy with fours, and he has got close to 30 blinds. It was 28, somewhere in that range. So he does just call. Queen Jack suited fours. Fair fight in an interesting flop. We got the ace deuce nine rainbow, very dry. Queen Jack suited has a ton of good turns here as well. Does start with a check, 2 4s in the lead, but going to be hard to get to showdown sometimes. Let's see what Beriuzy wants to do here. Does check. That's a great card for fours. You are not too worried about your opponent's improving there. You block 4-5. You have fours, only the 9 and the ace are the overs, and Queen Jack doesn't pick up a 10, a king, a club, a queen, or a jack. So fours now, though. I think with that 3, right, you gotta continue on. You might just have the best hand. You actually drawing to the straight. I don't think he loves it, but we'll call and let's see. What does Queen Jack do here? Check, and fours gonna get to win this pot. Big moment for Beriuzy there. Really nice result. Takes him to 2 million. Puts him in a different conversation at the moment with 2 mil in this 60K big blind. Level upper left is the information. 13 hands blinds will go up. Lower left can see the payouts and our players that have been eliminated. Again, good luck to everyone who had betting odds on this. How are we doing on our wager? You have AP. I have Beriuzy. You have Rodrigo. I have Pedro. Is that right? And Sven? I think I have Sven. No, do I have Sven, Pedro, and Beriuzy? Is that right? You have AP and Rodrigo for sure.
Did nobody pick Osmirko?
I don't think so.
I don't think he got picked. Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds right. Audience, if you guys got any action, let us know who you're sweating. Who do you think is going to win? We got 6 players left. It is wide open, no deal, making available. Play to a winner, and we are going to have great shows for you each week for the rest of 2026. Don't take many days off. Last week was one of those. We did see that Andres Nemeth did pick up the title last week with no stream here. And again, hi to Twitch, YouTube, all the streaming platforms. Welcome, everyone. We do try to keep up with the comments, the questions, see some regulars. Guru 79 in the house. Other players as well, guys. Say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. We do appreciate you guys engaging, being in. We got the giveaways end of the show and the 50 cash on the pin tweet, Jeff Gross Poker. I just put that link in the chat as well. So good luck. 4 giveaways, 200 total. 3 of those being the $50 GG tickets. World Cup action, semis on. It's a lot of action. World Series went quick though, huh? I mean, you were in it, you were living it. How many events total did you play?
I put about, well, I played at other casinos and stuff too, but I put up like almost 75K in buy-ins. So pretty, and there's only one 10K in there. So I played a lot of tournaments, bunch of cashes, couple deep runs. Yeah, no FTs, but yeah, just like roughly break even overall. But yeah, I mean, I'm exhausted, man. Like being here for the whole summer it's like, it's a war of attrition, you know, and not falling apart and still playing relatively well throughout the whole summer. So I was trying to pace myself as much as I could.
Very nice. Kings, maybe too much hand here. Top set. Does check back, decides to give a little room for some player to catch up with Pedro as
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. That makes sense, but there is a ton of draws there, right? You do unblock. I mean, you're blocking top pair. You have top set, but you know there is spade draws, some straight draws. Either way, it takes a little gamble to check, and now I guess is gonna some point want to put some chips in.
I think having the spade affects his decision a little bit here too. Like kind of protects his check back. Like if it is a spade, he still has the king. Yeah, ace nine just didn't have much. So I created a promo code for 3 copies of Mid-Six Mastery. I'm gonna put it in the chat real quick. It's WSOP GG26. So there's three copies available. That's the cheapest we've ever sold it for.
That's awesome. That's how many hours of content you said?
It's over 50 hours. I mean, there's PKOs, there's mystery bounties, there's like build vanilla structures, which is what, you know, Brian and I have built our careers off of. Yeah, and there's a lot of insights into the way that Brian thinks about spots, coming from someone that has, you know, was second to get 15 million in cashes online, and he's smart. And you know, you see him in the stream, like he's good at explaining spots. He's very succinct. I'm more long-winded. So yeah, I don't know. I noticed that he's very good at explaining stuff in a pretty easy to understand way. So yeah, it's been nice working with him. It's good to see he's streaming again.
Yeah,
so Rodrigo goes with 330, which is like 5.5 bigs, leaving 5 bigs back. Obviously going to get action from Beriuzy. I think he just clicks. Yeah.
Okay. Nines to ace nine suited. Ace nine suited is way behind, but it is still more dangerous than you think. Things can happen as the ace just pairs right away. He's got straights, flushes, and a ace, of course, as that does land. And now 1 out for Beriuzy, and no baby run good there. That's a big pot. To be at 3 mil, go down to 5 instead 1.7. Keep Rodrigo in dangerous there. Big shakeout for everyone involved, as we will continue on 6-handed. And Rodrigo just fighting today. Standard hand that just didn't go the way of Beriuzy. Is going to come back right on the saddle and open into 2 tough Brazilians there. Queen 10 off can open. Jack 6 off. One of the worst hands offsuit there. He's thinking. Nope, just going to bow out. Bow out, as we will see another hand, ace 10. We saw Artem fold ace 3 suited when he was in good position, maybe 1-7 left. Ace 5 suited, going to call. This is a hand that does play decently well without raising. It doesn't go for the 3-bet on the button, and he is going to get a potential to win this pot, right? The 6-6-4. He got backdoor straight and flush draw and in position against Artem, and this is going to be... could be hard for Artem to hold on. He does go for a check, does pick up that backdoor nut flush draw, and ace 10 now out of position. Tough hand to play. Does this make sense to start betting at some point, right? You do want to try to shed like ace 10, ace jack, ace queen. I guess now you also could shed some pairs, right? That maybe you would have heard from 7s or 8s by now. But either way, does pick it up. Another way to win a hand. Doesn't always have to be one way. Anything different there, ace 5 suited, would you expect, or do you like that sort of check back flop and then
Look back real quick. So I'm a bit distracted trying to get a couple things done.
He did go for a delayed bet there on the turn, as Artem will take the 10s under the gun, as now we see 30K 60 blinds drop in 2 hands, going to get up. The price of poker going to rise as ace king going to battle here with a pair, and wow, the pair gets a good shot at a set for a, could be a big pot, but no, will not.
This is interesting. So I'm surprised Osmirko doesn't jam from the big here, the deuces. I mean, Rodrigo's shown to be opening a fairly standard range. It's not like he's super tight or something. I'm curious if twos prefers calling versus shoving in the big here because it's like 20 effective.
This is one of those interesting blocker bets, and he actually does get called ace king.
Crazy.
Decides that for the price and doesn't want to go crazy there. So interesting. Artem does open up the door for a big raise, but does get the best case scenario. Gets a little blocker bet that gets called, and he wins the pot. All right, ace 10 to king 10. Pedro. Pedro is dominating Beriuzy here, the king 10, the taxi, and a dry board, 7-4 deuce. And Pedro kind of has options here to bet or check, and Beriuzy knows this board could be favorable for him, but does just get out of the way. 1.7 million. He's got a kind of awkward stack in the middle. There's 1 million for Rodrigo and Sven Andersson, and he has got sort of that next tier below the biggest stack. So, he's trying to maintain that gap. Doesn't want to get too out of line right now. Ace 5 suited, gonna open. Queen 6 off, pretty modest holding here. Allison says, "Hey, I'll call."
Sven's
Does
playing
flop.
like really solid.
Yeah, does flop a weak top pair. And Percy asks if we could put the chips in big blinds. There's a reason. It's similar. I would say the analogy that makes sense to me is similar where, why don't they on TV just color everyone up and leave everyone with just the minimum amount of chips? It's kind of fun to have chips. Similar here to see the numbers and understand versus just put a number on the screen. I know if you're playing, it's nice to just say, oh yeah, he's got 15, 20, 60 blinds. There is some mix of that. And I think they're working on a solution to maybe to kind of switch back and forth to show, but as of now, do leave it in chips. And a queen 6 comes for a bet on the river. Has a nice block to straights. He's got top pair and does decide it's the best hand. Ace 5 gets a little improvement, little tricky spot. Good, nice fold. King Jack suited, nice looking hand, but getting short. The blinds are up to 70K. We'll go for that min raise. And 3-9 off. Not much to talk about there. Gonna fold. Also, do want to mention the Bounty Hunter series is coming up July 5th to July 28th. 80 million guaranteed over 24 days. Biggest bounties of the summer. And there's a 108 mystery bounty main event, which a 5 mil guaranteed with 10 100K bounties, as well as a leaderboard and 40K of that every day. $1 million in the daily leaderboard. So pretty exciting. If you like bounties, there's a lot of that coming up.
Is that in the Bahamas?
That is online for a GG coming up
Oh,
July
online.
28th. I'm checking. I'm gonna ask about the big blinds.
We're all in and call.
All right, ace 4, eights in the lead. Rodrigo's been hanging around. There's a 4. He's going to need more of that if he wants to stay in. And now it is down to the ace or the 4 in the river. 88% of the time, we're going to see a knockout, and it is a 7. And that is
GG,
it.
Rodrigo.
GG golfer claps all around. 2 Gregos all in, 2 customs, and Rodrigo will settle for down to 5 as we will get going for the giveaway. So you guys, again, can hit that thumbs up, be subscribed. That is how you are eligible. And then I'll put in the keywords, 3 $50 tickets. And we got over 600 watching right now. You guys got about 100 of you hit the thumbs up. We can do better than that as we are getting in. It's summertime right now, World Cup game on, and we will be back to full force here soon on the GG Millions, and we're going to be having ourselves an amazing stretch of action as a big flop here, 8-10, King 9. Everyone was something, and Sven could be in trouble. This is problematic. I mean, this is big collision for blind on blind. Top pair versus the trips on King 10-10. For not a lot of chips. He does check back the 10. 8-10, king 9. This is going to be a tough ask to get out of the way for Sven. Certainly, I don't think can fold yet. That board gets a little more dicey where there
He's
now
actually
is
really lucky that this is the
Yeah.
run out.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel lucky.
No.
With either of these hands, you feel like you hate this run out. But the king 9 really is going to be saving a lot. It's pretty sick that he finds a value bet here.
He's also got that heart in his hand, which is interesting. You know, if you're Sven, you think about what are bluffs. Like, is there a hand he turns a jack X with hearts into a bluff? Is there just some hearts in there? You know, does he have like, is he really have a queen? Does he get to have a queen here? And if he doesn't have a queen, yeah, is he valued by a 10? You start asking all these considerations, and he does end up making the call. So again, nice find, nice way to get a bet on a tricky run out. But at the same token, Sven definitely could have got stacked there on a lot of run outs. So I think that was you know, he's going to be happy to have 10 blinds still at this moment, 5 left. And big hands here. Ace queen for 10 and ace jack suited.
Shout out to Lappy in the chat. He's having the summer of his life.
Oh yeah, what's going on? I haven't heard that. How's he doing? He's saying he's
I
doing
mean,
well.
crushed this summer.
That's
I
awesome.
did call it. I was expecting to see that. Yeah, he won a couple of the win nightlies, and then he did really well on online for the summer. And then at the win, he just final tabled the 2200 bounty and pulled 2 of the big bounties. So
Wow.
absolutely crushing.
Well, I'll tell
All
you who's
right, we have
crushing.
ace
Sven
queen
here,
to
if
ace
he can
jack.
hold. Ace queen to ace jack suited is a great flop. It is well in the lead. The turn is clean. He's got to fade that on the river J only, or we will still go 5, and it is a 4. So nice pickup. And this is similar, you know, Artem had ace jack suited. There's a raise and a re-raise. You saw Beriuzy get away with jacks in a spot, right? Like ace jack suited there. There was a raise and a re-raise. Maybe you could argue he could step out, but again, you're talking about 10 blinds. Sven's going to go with lighter than that. Chip leader open, so I think it's very close, and I think a very, very reasonable, you know, get involved with the ace jack suited there. Also, still has 2.7 million, but that will make it a lot more tight amongst the board right now. There is 5-handed. No one critically short now. 1.6 million. So over 20 bigs. Our short stack. It is wide open play here. And Allison doing a good job. Still chip leader. He did duck out of the chip lead momentarily, as we will see queen 9 off, queen 10 suited here. Sven in a good position. Best hand, best position, best flop. And queen 9, though, not going to probably put much more in here. So Sven will be up, it looks like, to almost 2 million.
Yeah.
And Beriuzy gonna likely be the short stack. I guess there is a world now where he doesn't win this hand, but it was such a good flop for him.
I wonder if he. So, if, yeah, yeah, it's going to be hard for him to lose this one. I was going to say if Pedro decides to bluff and Sven calls and then Pedro gives up, if Sven would end up bluffing this hand, I guess he would on the river, but either way, goes with the bet here and he's going to take it down. So now we're a little bit deeper, right? What are the blinds? 70K. So shortest stack is, I guess, Beriuzy at this point with a little over 20 bigs. So there's a lot of play left. There's a lot of play left in this. We have a lot of like 30 to 50 big blind stacks.
Yeah, big flop. Ace Jack gets the absolute cookies here. Sixes have the next laid claim. Could boat up and take the lead. King 8 checking back. Not too interested in multi-way here with this hand. Doesn't get a club turn. So Ace Jack likely just gonna get this down here. I don't see sixes sticking on, depending the size of the bet. And there's also someone behind. So yeah, should just end it here. And I don't think needs to go huge. Does go big though. I mean, Sven kind of feels like something might be up to no good, but he is going to get out of the way. So Pedro up to 3.9, basically the two Brazilians on 4 mil approximately. And then everyone else here, Beriuzy, who started the day in second, he's our short stack, tied with Sven. He's going to get to work with King 10 off. 10-8 suited, nice hand, but not this stage of the tournament. Don't really want to be, can't really be flatting or getting too much to do with this, as ace 10 suited though, and the big is going to be playing. Pedro though does take a little bit of time. Could he ever get involved? I don't see, that doesn't seem like the time to get in with that hand. Ace 10 suited dominating here, and no player flopping though, as this could just be a win though for King 10 off. Does have a heart there, does have position. Queen 7-4, 2 hearts, and a small bet. Ace 10 suited, tricky hand to play.
Yeah.
Goes pretty big here.
Yeah, the big size might get it done. If he went small, I think ace 10 peels. But going half pot, over half pot, it's going to get the job done. Pedro does not like folding. Like that 10-8 suited, he's like, I don't want to fold this. It doesn't feel right. Suited and connected.
Yeah, and here another one where 9-10 suited, such a powerful hand, but you're out of position. He's going to take that up as a raise, and Queen King off, one hand you could 4-bet with, but at this again, Artem been very, very much in line. I think that a 4-bet with Queen King off, it is 5-handed. It would be a statement. It would be a hand that, you know, has great properties to do so. He just flats, and now we got ourselves a pot. This is likely the pot of the day. This is a big, big moment. And this is also a flop where Queen King's not really going to fold. And 9-10 suited may want to continue. And he Spain's out there. It's already 2-0. This is run away. France in trouble in this game.
This is the problem with like choosing a small sizing for his 3-bet is you now give Pedro a good price to peel in position. I mean, he didn't even go a full 3x. So
I'll tell you what, though, Artem, this story is getting a little
adding
dicey.
up.
And if you're Pedro, you know, you don't love what's happening here. You realize the situation. Your opponent's bluffing or you're buried, most likely, right? Like that. I mean, that thing you just see somehow has aces. He has you coolered and the brick. This is fun. So now does Artem, does he wave the white flag or does he shell it? And I don't think King Queen here, as played, you would get him to fold, right? I just don't see it. So I think this is Pedro though has the decision. Does he want to bet or not? It's 2.5 million. He's gonna have 5 million chips in his mind. He checks back and wins. Is there a scenario that Artem would not shove for value if he had aces or had ace king or had something? I don't really think so. With that said, what do you get called by? So maybe with that club in your hand, you could think that, you know, Queen 10 bluffs or ace queen bluffs or a missed flush draw bluffs. So yeah, I don't know. I think Pedro definitely good enough to value bet. At the same time, this is a huge pot.
I think Pedro's likely to bet for value. Just because Osmirko, if he had him beat, he would be betting for value here with all of his value.
Yeah, and Artem, all of a sudden, the shortest stack, things change like a jiffy. This is a very quick turnaround. Pedro with the race car going quickly, and he is now your chip leader, 5 million. Brazil got 9 million, with the other players having, what, 4.5. So, you know, Brazil, 5 mil, 4 mil, and they are in position here to get a title. Pedro does not, I think, neither one of the Brazilians of these guys have a title, I believe. Is that correct? I think Pedro... Just double check. Pedro has 9 final tables, no title. Allison, 8 final tables, no title. Beriuzy, 1 title. Sven, 2. And Rodrigo, who bowed out, had 4. So that is where we're at. We are very, very likely to see a new winner, although Sven and Beriuzy still in. Still could spin it up. 3-4, taking a stab here, and 7-9. And 3-4.
He lets it go.
Gets it done. Gets it done. 70K big blind. There is only 5 left. At 4, we'll start that giveaway. And we can see in 8 hands, we will be up to a new blind level. Things are going quicker now. 5 left as we are getting some shorter stacks. And this is, again, a little less buy-in, a little less action than normal. first prize, still 280,000 plus that 10K Baja Mark ticket, which is in the Bahamas in December. It is for the GG Million seat, so a nice little extra bonus for the winner each week as we see a lot of poker to be played in 2026. We are through the first season of 26. We're in season 2 now. Saw some incredible poker in the first part, as this is Sven going to be wanting to stay on here for at least a street.
Man, you remember it came up at the table during the series, like craziest hands we've seen, and I just always think of the Malacca versus DK. Remember that hand?
Mm-hmm.
Where he turned trips into a bluff on the river. That was just the sickest hand ever, dude.
Yeah, there's been some epic hands. Honestly, there's been so many amazing plays, amazing calls, bluffs. I've seen really everything here, and it's always why I love to watch. It's just something new. You just know you got to be you can't take a hand off. You just know players are capable to do extraordinary things. There's been again kind of everything, and on any given day, anyone depends what mood they're in, what stack they got, what they had for lunch, and it's just people go for it or they sit back, and you never really know. We do know that we'll see special stuff in here, 5-handed, very, very to give between the players. Everyone here very good and anyone capable, although Sven and Beriuzy have their work cut out right now. King 10 going to min raise. Beriuzy with we saw him defend Jack 4 off, lost a pot earlier actually against aces, so he does maybe defend a little more than most. This is he's covering slightly Sven, and he's going to 3-bet it, so find some creativity. And this is kind of right in the middle of Sven, where you have a strong, decently strong hand. Against value, you're in trouble, but against the air or other, you're doing okay. So let's see what he does here. I guess there's a world where he calls. I think everything, again, all 3 options are on the table for him. It's a very small 3-bet. And he's going to...
I think he gets a walk here. Yeah.
Card removal effect, ace 10, 5-handed, good hand, and was not going to get contested, as we will see kings now in the small. No one with much. Beriuzy 6-5 suited. Yes, it's pretty, but he's on the button against the 2 chip leaders, decides not to go for it, and that was a good decision, as we see now kings limp and deuce 9 suited has the option to check back or to raise. Kings gets their wish.
I think as you get a little bit deeper, you can start ISOing these suited hands. On the shallower stack depths, I think they prefer checking. And you turn the offsuit hands into bluffs. But obviously, Allison going with the limp raise, given the opportunity.
Yeah, things are really tight. AP and PP there. Pedro and AP, they got the Brazil on lock, showing us what it is today for Brazil. Brazil, not the Dream World Cup. Neymar was coming off an injury, played a bit, didn't get to get too many minutes, and they just couldn't quite get it done. And of course, Aaron Holland and Norway took them down 2-1, and that was, again, Brazil, very passionate country. I'd say poker, soccer, two things that are synonymous with Brazil, and people know poker in Brazil now. It's really grown a lot as we see 3 playable hands: ace jack off, jack 9 suited, and queens. Queens gets a safe board and a not too much to tango with here. Probably just going to pick it up here.
This is interesting to me to see like what sizing Beriuzy goes with, or if he even mixes in some checks.
All right, Artem decides, hey, it's just too many weird things that could happen. I'm out. Ace jack off, didn't like the board, and no big deal. Jacks now for Allison under the gun, 5-handed. Jacks is a open, and king deuce off. Beriuzy is willing to tango light, but not that one. King deuce off does pass. And again, want to say, where in the world are you guys watching from? Let us know. We'll get that tweet out for you guys again. I've seen a lot of you now have come into that. Appreciate you guys engaging, getting the retweet out. And that is on my pinned Jeff Gross Poker. Already got 25 of you there. Put 50 cash in your pocket for a winner there.
This is an interesting spot for Sven. He has 13 bigs. Yeah, I think he just goes mostly all the way in. Annoying for Allison. Maybe he just gets, maybe he gets stubborn and puts it in with the Jack 10 suited. I mean, but yeah, it's a fold.
There it is, 50 cash giveaway, link above. India can't play their super soccer zone, man. India, it's actually surprised, you know, a couple of the biggest countries in the world that haven't competed in the World Cup, like India, right? They have the biggest population in the world, and they've never competed in the World Cup. It's kind of interesting. I think China as well, one of them. So yeah, that it is wild too in poker. Like this what blows my mind, Mike. U.S. can't play on GG. All these other countries, we mentioned India. Like, can you imagine how popular poker really is? That the numbers, the records are being broken, they're being set, that it's at a peak, and that there's so many areas that you just can't even that aren't able to play. Like, at what point is it? A year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Like, is it able to everyone can play worldwide? It just seems like, you know, it just seems that
I think
there's
we'll
a
get
lot of
there
room for the game to
eventually.
grow. I do too. The problem is, how old are you?
44.
44. I'm almost 40. And we're in that, you know, it's like, it's exact. I'll say this: Black Friday, April 15th, 2011, never in a million years would I have thought that today that you couldn't play. Like, there's daily fantasy legal sports betting at a federal level, and yet poker, the
It's
beautiful
such
game.
a deep eye
Just
roll.
so it's so
Like,
crazy. Like, that's what I'm saying. So is it when we're 50, you know, is it grandkids? Like, I don't know. When is it, can you just get on there, watch a Sunday, you know, some football and click in a tournament or two? That's what we're,
I
you know,
mean,
you can
clearly
travel.
it's a political thing, and a lot of the Indian casinos are what's holding the whole thing up. So,
Sven here. Sven knows he doesn't really want to call it. He's not ahead by a ton in a lot of spots. This is one of the best cases. Good flop. He is ahead
Jack 8's
70%
gonna
of the
win.
time. The turn is clean. He needs to fade a jack or an 8. 86% of the time will continue. It is an ace just in case. Sven is back in, the 2-time GGMillion champion. So we are, still 5-handed here, as we will get going on the giveaways at 4-handed.
That's got to
40-80
be such
level.
a relief for him. Sorry,
Oh yeah, it's
finish.
big money difference there. He's locked up 6 figures, 104, but playing for 280 in that 10K GGMillion Bahamar seat. Not to be confused with the former Atlantis, where it's been. So excited to get a new mix of flavor there at the Atlantis. I'm sorry, at the Bahamar. So that'll be GGMillion's Bahamar edition this year. Ace Jack. There's Ace Jack. There's a real flop, top pair, and Ace 7. You know, understands he's going to get bluffed here sometimes, but he would do himself a favor if he folds now. He does hang on, and those are chips not coming back. Don't really see a path. He's sort of in check call, hoping he's good formation. Ace Jack. That's sort of a brick, right? Not many Queen X cards that are just going to be calling here. I guess Queen King. Could he ever? Wouldn't play Ace Queen this way. Probably not King Queen either. So in all effectiveness, that is a brick, I think, in his mind, right? I don't think Queen 10 suited even peels there on the flop. So it's like, you know, Ace Jack, top pair, top kicker.
Yep.
Best hand, picks it up. Good observation. And Osmirko now, the short stack.
I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. I'll be
All
back.
right, I will hold it down, and let me know again where you're watching from. Good luck on the giveaway. See a lot of you guys taking part in that. And I got to say, I missed. I was happy to play the main. I really felt good. I got up to 3x starting. I had 10% given away. I'm excited about Bahamas. Hopefully, get to play maybe in Montreal. There's a big series there at Playground Poker. Timing likes everything. Mike gets to miss the mystery hand. I'll handle this one. Ace Queen off. Have had some good mystery hand selections, as we see on the button. I mean, look, Ace Queen, big hand here for 23 bigs and a flat from AP as we go to the 9-10 deuce board. And again, so immediately, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking Allison has, you know, pocket 5s, pocket 6s, maybe some suited broadways. Ace Queen is sort of indifferent here, but it's still a good hand. You do beat Jack King, Jack Queen, other hands. So I think no way you can fold thus far. And does 5s or 6s just bet out on that board? I don't know. All right, turn 8. Gonna bet again. I just have in my head he has king jack. That's what I'm thinking. King jack suited somehow. That's the hand that sticks out to me. I'm just going with that as of right now. So I think I'm calling, but I'm not loving it. And you realize you call. There's what 373, like 1.2. You're basically down to a SPR of 1 on the river. So let's see here. You also are drawing. Okay, at 3. So again, would 6s or 7s just bet? Would it really be putting pressure like this? So no, it's like kind of, does he happen to have ace 10? Does he play king 10 like that? Or does he have king jack, jack queen beats you, you block that? I just think he has king jack suited AP. For some reason, that's just in my spidey senses. Although I'm not saying it's an easy call, not saying I would call. I'm just trying to think, what hand does he have? I wish we did more mystery hands. These are fun. I just think he has king jack suited. Although the timing is fast, I don't know. Maybe he's got ace 10, but I'll say king jack suited just for fun. And Mike's missing a good one here. GG team always picks great stuff. We haven't had a lot of mystery hands today. Beriuzy thinking what to do. Although the timing I don't love, but I'm just staying with the king jack of hearts. I'm saying he's bluffing. I just don't think he plays 7s like this, right? I just don't see the size. So I don't think I'll take away the mid pairs. Now let's go to broadways. Let's just go to broadways. Does he have jack queen? You have a queen. I'm putting him on king jack suited here, Mike. This is a mystery hand. It's been a fun one. It was a lead flop, lead turn, bet river, and I just don't think he plays like 6s or 5s this way. Maybe even want to shove those hands pre. So it's a weird one. This is a very interesting hand. I'm super curious on this. I'm super curious, and obviously Beriuzy's curious. It's an important pot for him, and he's trying to work this out in his head too. Does he just have like jack 10 suited? I think he has king jack suited, Mike. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, there's not a ton of bluffs here. If he defended the
There's
small and
not.
just bet 3 streets.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think he has the mid pairs. I don't think he would play it like that. I don't think he would just bet 6s on the flop, the turn, the river like this. So, and then like, does he just have jack 10 suited? Does he have, I think he has king jack suited. I don't know why. It's just screaming at me.
But like king jack suited is the only bluff. That
Yeah, you're
kind of
right.
makes
There's not
sense.
many. You're right. You're right. It's like there's not many flats that are like 6. It's a weird hand. I think ace 10. That was the other hand I
Yeah.
said for value, but okay. Nice hand. Nice fold by Beriuzy there.
I mean,
It
king
didn't,
queen,
the
but like,
size didn't, yeah, there were not many bluffs that you're right. Queens, nice hand. AP, good decision making from Beriuzy. Gets unlucky there. Ace queen, ace 10 suited, and got unlucky but lucky, right? What if he just raised, committed him there? They would have got it in, and we would have got binked
yeah,
on. Actually, speaking of that hand, I think Will Givens, who was chip leader at one
yes,
point, lost ace queen, ace 10 for a
ace
huge
10. Yeah.
pot down the stretch to be chip leader, as you know, the in a big moment. This is another big moment with ace queen to 9s, and we should see 5 here quickly. Beriuzy, this is an important pot. I mean, this is the majority of his chips, and I don't see a world where he's folding. He is saying just one time. This is an important one time for this tournament. 9s to ace queen would be down to
Big
314.
one.
He's ahead. He's played a few pots with 9s today, and the queen does
Not
arrive.
a
He
good
needs help.
start.
Big. Oh,
Oh,
Beriuzy, the baby run good. Hello, Artem will bow out. Beriuzy, that is my pick, and
EG.
I am in business right now with, I believe I have 3 guys to 1, right? And we're down to 4. It's giveaway time, and I think I had Pedro. I believe I had Sven. Yep, and I do have Beriuzy. So but you got 5 mil. You got the chip lead. It is not that crazy of a. It's a pretty even sweat here.
Hey, it's a pleasure and an honor to have AP represent. I want to see Allison win this.
All right, let me get the giveaways under word. Here we go. Keyword. 50 GG ticket. It's going to be GGWSOP. You go by Michael or Mike generally? Like, how do you like, what do people call you, or either?
Generally Mike. Yeah. Family is Michael and everyone else is Mike.
All right. Well, we are going to get the first giveaway underway. We'll get it right into it. Number 1 at 3, GG ticket, 50 GG ticket is there. And you need to be subscribe and hit the thumbs up. 117 of you have done that so far. That's who's eligible. It's 50 cash, 50 GG ticket, and then there's 50 cash on X. So good luck to everyone. I'll get that underway.
Let me see a little bit of action on this flop. Does anyone call you Jeffrey?
Not really. No. No, not.
I never even thought of you as Jeffrey. I just think of you as Jeff.
Yeah, I've not been in a long time. Maybe a teacher back in the day when it was not being out of line a little. But yeah, that feels. That's funny. I don't think I know any Jeffs that are called Jeffrey. All right, Queen 8, GTO Wizard working, Ace 5. Both players with something here.
Interesting. 100% check.
Ooh, what a spicy turn that is.
Shouldn't have listened to the wizard, man.
Yeah. And it's saying check. So does it go for the, I guess, the check raise on that run out then? Well,
I think Pedro goes for value, though.
Yeah, no,
I don't think he expects Ace X to check back a lot.
I mean, I guess this is going for the check raise. Is that why you also let bluffs in to maybe bluff the reason the check has played? Is that the thought? I don't think it's going to check and just call.
Yeah, my reasoning was a little bit backwards, what I just said.
Yeah, and this is saying has to call. Beriuzy certainly not raising. Will call and get the bad news. Could have been worse, but
I think out of position we do on a more dynamic board texture. I think we would be checking a lot if there's like a lot of missed draws. But out of position there, I think we just want to be betting most of our value because I think it's just going to go check too often. There's not a lot of like natural bluffs. But against these better players, they are going to find some of the unintuitive bluffs. So yeah, it's hard to say for sure.
All right, we are underway for the first giveaway for 50 GG ticket, 123. You eligible? Hit that thumbs up, be subscribed. That is free. And the keyword, you just got to type it in there. Good luck, everyone. We are going to pick that in a second. We'll get it at, we got a short stack in Beriuzy, and we are very much so in a dog fight here for the title. And again, Sven or Beriuzy have won. The two Brazilians have not. They got the chips, and they're looking for that first title.
Yeah, I guess the World Cup's going on like as we speak, huh?
Yeah, big game today. And then tomorrow will also be a big game. That is Argentina and England. It's going to be a crazy game.
Maybe not great for the numbers for us for right now.
Yeah, it's also, today's a lot. There's a smaller prize pool. Everything this summertime, people are on vacation, people are relaxing. We do appreciate everyone being here today. We've had a great show. Been a lot of cool hands, and we still have a winner to decide here today. And I am trying to find direct. Let me see.
Someone's asking in chat if there's a way to play GG in Vermont. You can't play from the US. You could play club GG. But the way things are going right now with GG, I feel like they're going to expedite the process more than Stars. Yeah, who knows? They bought the WSOP, so who knows what they're going to buy next?
Making moves, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's some power behind them at the moment. So Queen 10 opens here. King Queen decides to 3-bet. I'd be surprised if he could 4-bet fold this hand, but generally just going to pass. Continue with the suited version of the Queen 10. And we got another mystery. Let's do it.
Ace 10 versus the mystery of Sven. Sven is tough, and Ace 10 is a nice hand four-handed here. We'll see a call. Ace high, Ace 8-6. Rainbow flop. Nice for Pedro with the Ace 10 here, right? He's kind of under-repped. He's high up in the range. He's got a strong ace, and likely going to go check call here.
It's nice until the pot gets big. And then you're like, yeah.
Yep. And a 4, so backdoor diamonds comes in. 5-7 makes a straight. Other than that, ace 10, still don't think there's 5-7 raising here. Beriuzy shorts. You still feel pretty good at the moment. You're
Let's
right.
try to think of double barrel bluffs in the spot. 9-10 of diamonds. Well, don't have to worry about it, I guess, at this point.
Interesting. It's a mystery hand. So are we going to see like
Yeah.
a bet and then a raise
Yeah, we
potentially?
are.
Is that what's going on here? Trying to think how mysterious this could get.
I mean, if I'm Pedro, I'm feeling pretty good about my hand at the moment. I'd rather be blocking the flush.
No, you have to feel good. It's check back turn. You got the ace. I mean, you got to believe he's going to
Yeah.
fire most of his continuation with the diamond. So that's kind of out of the question. Then it's like, does he happen to have like king 6 suited or 6-7 suited that he opened and then kind of slowed down, just thinking he's good? I mean, that's what I would be. I mean, if I get raised here, I'm thinking he's got 6x or I'm good.
And like
Right?
Sven's been pretty solid. Like
Yeah.
if he wants to bluff here with a hand like king queen with a diamond, or something like that, like I feel like it should work a lot just because he's going to get a lot of credit.
I guess that's what you have to ask yourself. Does queen 10 or queen jack of diamonds, king, do they check back ever when they get called in the flop? And I mean, there it is. There's the 920 ask. And, I would personally not think there's too many flushes here, but this is a wild hand. I'm genuinely like lost because it's such an unpredictable. What do you think? I think he's gonna.
What are the bluffs?
He does just bluff 5s with the diamond.
He has 5s with the
He
diamond.
folded
It's sick.
fast. Well, I didn't even get to really predict. To be fair, it did seem super strong. I did think Pedro would fold. I had a feeling, but I didn't know if I thought Sven had it. I thought Pedro would fold because it did look so strong. That's a sick hand, by the way. Like Sven just quiet, everything like nothing out of the ordinary, and then just picks a crazy bluff and gets Pedro to fold top of range in a hand. It's just that is a nutty hand. That is nutty. And
It's
I'm gonna
interesting
pick.
to me that he like you would think he's double barreling his flush draws, right? Maybe like the nut flush draw he doesn't or something, or the king high flush draw maybe he's like checking sometimes, but his worst flush draws that pick up the equity on the turn, I imagine they're betting. It's very interesting that he chose to not bet that hand on the turn as a triple, but then raise it on the river as a bluff. I mean, it's like pretty savage. It just shows like the dude has chops, man. Like he's just capable. He's capable. That's all I'll say.
Very
Like,
nice hand. Very
how
nice hand. That's the
frequently do you see check back the turn, raise river as a bluff?
Yeah, not and especially in the spot 4 left in a spot where it just feels like he can't be bluffing. That was sick. That was a sick hand.
Yeah,
All right,
it's a
first
really
winner,
sick bluff.
Poker Nikki, $50 GG ticket number 2 coming up here shortly. Well done, Poker Nikki, and we got 2 more tickets to go. And again, must be subscribed, must hit the thumbs up. We will get it rolling here for you very shortly. Very shortly, the second one coming up. We got 4-handed poker, and again, blinds are up. It's going fast. 4 hands will be at the next level. I think that's everyone's favorite level, the 50-100. A lot easier to do the big blinds. And France is down 2 in the 88th minute too. Ooh, wow! What a game! What a World Cup! Really, the numbers. I think I don't want to misspeak here. Maybe in the audience we could get this exactly pinned down, but something like the actual every game of the World Cup, or pretty much every one, is like some X on the amount the Super Bowl is like more viewership than the Super Bowl, like per game or something, like by a multiple, which is wild to
Really?
think about. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because it's more worldwide, right?
Yeah, it
I mean, the
does.
Super Bowl is huge,
But there's
but
104 games, and like there's a lot of group stage games or regular games. Like I get like the
that's
final
wild.
or the semi, but the actual yeah. Yeah, looks like France is going to go down here. It's the 88th minute, down 2-0. They need a lot of help. It's not everyone. The Argentina, I don't know if you happen to catch that comeback. Argentina was down 2-0 in like the 78th minute to actually win 3-2. And then before the end of the game, it was 0.16% chance. And
Oh my
they did.
God,
They
dude. So
scored
many
3 goals.
people lost
Messi
money.
scored an assist and an assist and a goal, and then they got the third. I mean, to actually win, it's less because it could have gone 2-2 extra time or even penalties, right? But like to actually get 3 goals before the game ended, that was like 0.16% out of 50,000 situations. It was whatever. So yeah, it's never over till it's over. Just like here, the Beriuzy is short. He's not out. It's never quite over.
This is an interesting spot for Allison to flat. I would expect him to be doing a lot of 3-betting, cut off to small blind with king 10 off. I'm surprised that he just flatted that hand. Maybe I have some work to do in these final table spots, but I know in chips that's like pretty high frequency 3-bet.
I've done so many of these shows, and there's such great play, and it's been so fun to do it with great guests, and the audience is incredible. And I was really already thinking about when I came to the main, I got 3x starting. I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to final table. And then if I do, I was like, if I final table, I'm going to be in great shape for how many final tables I've seen. It's hard to get there. And it's also, there's a lot of play leading up to it, but definitely, when you know it, when you're actually doing the commentary, when you're a part of this, like you're in it. It's different than just like, oh, look at the knockout hands, or I'll scroll through and watch a little. But like when you feel the tempo, the timing, you get to kind of be in, you're getting to know the table and what's happening, and you get to kind of make some predictions. It's a lot different, right? It's great to be here. And again, we appreciate the audience who sticks. I know you guys can watch replays. You can see some of the highlights I put up on my channel. But to actually kind of sweat it out, to be here, to be watching the show, it's fun, and we get to chat and talk together and learn. So it's great to see you guys, and we appreciate it, as everyone here is, a lot of familiar faces we see here frequently.
Yeah, even like this not being the biggest prize pool for these FTs, anytime I'm grateful to have a seat at the table, even if it's the commentating table. It's like a concentrated time to be able to just sit and watch the this iteration of this final table, and how the stacks line up, and the player types, and the history, and the dynamics. These are the important parts of like a longevity in a poker career, is like having concentrated time to really think deeply and be present away from the table, when you're not playing.
Absolutely.
Like this is a super crazy spot. He's min raising off off 10 bigs with 7-3 suited. Like what? Like what? I've never even seen this before. This is 4-handed for like a bunch of money. Like, dude, this is like so savage. Dude, that's so sick. That's so sick. I don't know if people can appreciate that. Like he just min raised like Allison, who's the chip lead, from small to big, gave him a good price to flat in position. He seems like he's super nutted. He gets 7-3 suited, and then gets 8-9 suited to call and fold the flop. Like Beriuzy is a savage.
He's got gears. He's got moves. He's in there showing us late stages here what he's got going on. As we see a set 10 deuce 4 rainbow, and gives some rope. 10-5 suited actually does have top pair and now a gut shot. So this is gonna be there's a variety of rivers here that could be costly for Pedro. And that is
one of them.
That is the actual one that is the most sick. And I mean, dude, he's got to think he's so good here. He's blocking the straight, which is again unlikely, but he's got trips in the pot that was not a lot of money put in. Was it check flop? I mean, this is nasty stuff. I'm just thinking, how big can it get? 900. I mean, is that enough to just call since it's over pot? Is it in this situation? Or are you raising here? You think you just call, right? With the 10, you lose to. You block 3-5. It's too big. Yeah, if he had gone like 350 or 280 or something, but okay, what a sick hand. Pedro can't breathe, but that is sick, and he is still 2.8. Allison started chip leader, currently is that, and we are 4-handed at the 100K big blind. 12 blinds for Beriuzy. Sven 32. He'll get the walk, and Spain can taste a final. They are 4 minutes away from that. I just checked in on that score line. I do gotta say that would be, the final could be, that's either gonna be Spain England or Spain Argentina as it stands, and that is gonna be in New York on Sunday.
Yeah, sometimes
that's crazy game.
Soccer is like golf to me, in that like I wish I was into it, and maybe one day I will. Like someone will soccer pill me But it's like golf. I wish I was into it because it's such a good way to like get outside, connect with people, you know, like network with people, and also like move your body and get some sun. And it can be addicting. Uh, yeah, but those are just two things. I think somewhere down the road, both of them are like going to become a little bit more of a thing for me, but for now they are not. But I can appreciate anyone, I was watching on Netflix, I was watching the uh who's that tennis player? I think he's
Sinner,
Spanish.
Alcaraz.
No, like older. Like he just retired. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. He's like one of the biggest tennis players of all time. Let me see.
I mean,
Nadal.
oh
It
yeah.
was Nadal.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if that's his. Yeah, dude. I did you ever read Andre Agassi's book?
I didn't, but I heard it was amazing. Yeah, I know him.
Dude,
He's
it's
got
so
an
good.
incredible story.
Like we have so much in common with like tennis, like perform golf and tennis, where you're just on an island and things are going to be going well sometimes, and things are going to be going completely in reverse. And all you can do is get in your own head and try to like manage the way that you're thinking and feeling. And nobody can help you. Like nobody's there for you during the competition. And to see someone compete at the highest level, I didn't think this was that interesting of a spot. Like I thought 7-3 would fold, but now maybe he's going to look him up here because he thinks he doesn't have enough value.
Yeah, it's like 8x or nothing. The 10 doesn't change anything. There's no straights possible. The flush misses. He doesn't have a spade. I mean, it is blind on blind. Definitely reasonable to consider this, but does fold in the end.
Yeah, this documentary on Nadal is like it's so cool to just see all the things that he overcame. I had no idea. He had like a broken bone in his foot and like a mouth, like a some disease in his feet, and he's like in constant pain, and he still competes at the highest level. It's just like the mentality it takes is just it's just so sick.
There's something that has been talked about, the difference between the 1 through 5 top tennis player in the world versus like the top 25, and one of the biggest things is how they rebound off losing points. Like the mindset, the mental
Mm.
about that is very similar in poker, right? I think it's like how quick you're going to lose a lot of hands. In
Oh
tennis,
yeah.
I think Nadal or Federer, these guys, like you look at the stats, lifetime, they lost like they win like 54% of their points in their life,
Yeah.
or 56, something crazy. It's like ace king to queens, you know what I mean? So they're losing
Yeah.
points all the time. Like that's just how it is when you're not serving, right? You're supposed to win your serve and you don't. It's like kind of similar if you have the button or you don't, right? Like you're going to lose to the guy in position a lot. But like the game is very, very tiny edges, and that it's important, the mental side of it. You got to be willing to just move on to the next situation. I think that's easier said than done, and very, very much similar to poker and tennis in that sense, as we see again four-handed. And Beriuzy chipping up a bit, 18 bigs,
Yep.
19 almost. So he's gonna have the big blind next, upper left. Still some play left at this 100K level.
We were watching Sweating Cal's final table in the 10K six max yesterday, and I was standing with Pesh and Michael Rocco, uh, just talking about like what it's like to be playing your best. And it always comes down to being fully present and being okay with all outcomes. So like, you go from 50 bigs to 10. Okay, now we have 10 bigs. How do we make the
Yep.
best decision?
Yeah,
Play
I just
each
got
hand the best
yeah,
you
guy
can.
jammed ace five suited. I had kings. I lost.
It
Like,
is
all
what
right,
it is.
now I'm short. Like the chip leader, I think I noticed. I saw the final table of the main. The guy went out.
Yeah,
He ended up getting. He was chip leader at the final table or
Malcolm. Yeah.
right there, and he got ninth. I mean, no guarantees. Things go quick, and maybe made a mistake, maybe didn't, maybe got cooler, maybe didn't. But there might have been a moment in there where he could have reset or paused or done something differently. And, again, you can't second guess yourself, but you got to learn and grow and understand that there's no guarantees. As we do get the second giveaway, I will point out it's Bounty Hunter Series is a keyword. Enter that with GGWSOP and your GGPoker username, as we see 9-7 and Queen 8 battle here. And 9-7 has the straight. Queen 8, it's an affordable price. He's considering calling. Wouldn't make any sense to raise. Second giveaway underway. Spain is in the final. France is out. So it will be Spain and then either England or Argentina. And yeah, crazy World Cup did have a crazy amount of to give a little context on it. The FIFA World Cup reached unprecedented digital engagement milestone, 20 billion video views across platforms. Oh, wow. Hold on a second. Did he just rip it all in? I just was trying to get a stat for you guys. And that was Queen 8 turned into a bluff and got snapped off. I was just giving you some stats. And I'll tell you what, Sven Andersson looking to get
I
another
thought the hand was over when he rivered the
I was,
straight.
yeah, I was giving you color on the World Cup on the side. I thought that hand was going to be a call or fold. And he did take a different variation. And that is a new situation for Sven. Speaking of that, have to switch. Allison was chip leader start. Now he is in second, and there are 4 left. So there you go. Second keyword underway as we drop in the 20 billion video engagements for the World Cup. And
live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yes, that was a interesting hand. Very interesting hand, as we are now got 140 thumbs up. You must be subscribed and hit the thumbs up to be eligible for the giveaway. Second 50 GG ticket and the tweet, Jeff Gross Poker. Go there on X, hit retweet. Guess who wins? Tag a friend. Good luck. 50 cash. I will pick that winner as well. Queen 6, A6. Sven is in charge at the moment. 800 watching. Hello, everyone. Hope you're enjoying. Who do you want to win the World Cup? There's only 3 teams left officially right now. France is out. You can either pick England, Spain, or Argentina in a big semifinal collision tomorrow going down. And who do you want to win here? Who would you like to see? AP Allison was chip leader, could get his first title. Pedro could get his first title. They each had 9 and 8 final tables respectively. And this is probably going in. Deuces, ace-9 suited. Yes, it is. 4.4 in the middle. The pair versus ace-9 suited. Basically a coin flip. The ace pairs. Deuces in a lot of trouble here. Needs help on the river. 2 outs and a good game.
Don't
AP,
do
what is
it.
he saying that for? What? It's a heart. It's a heart,
Oh,
and
no.
that is a good game.
Don't
it's a
do it.
slowest peel 4-ball. Yeah, he did say good game when the ace hit, and that is running hot. Pedro says deuces. He is out. Peace. That is it. 3 left, and the second giveaway, Bounty Hunters, we're going to pick it in a sec.
Respect to Pedro. Good game, buddy. Fought hard. Gave yourself a shot. But Allison, the punter, Piekazewicz, finds a way to win the flip. Get back in the chip lead.
All right, the second winner for the GG ticket, $50 ticket, is Kirzovan. There you go, my friend. Congrats to you. Good luck. Spin that up, and we are going to see a kings to king 6 suited. And AP back in a contention. Beriuzy, GTO Wizard saying to bet on the ace-10-7 middle sizing on this board. Interesting. Although I guess stack to pot ratio is 1. And talk to me about that. Why out of 95% of the time? He says bet mid. He does go small. And this actually says fold. He calls. And now this is saying to bet small in the 1.4 with the million behind.
There's a lot of things going on here. Hard to articulate it quickly in this moment, but I think mostly small betting for Beriuzy once he 3-bets. He also has the image where Allison feels compelled to continue pre with the king 6 suited. When he chooses the small sizing, Allison, now knowing that this board texture, it's going to be hard for Beriuzy to bet again if he doesn't have value. He feels compelled to continue with the king 6 suited because he's trying to meet his minimum defend frequencies with this hand. He thinks it, because the bet is so small, that the backdoor flush draw and then the king may be live, and then the backdoor straight draw, backdoor Broadway. is enough for him to continue with the king six suited, but it's still not thrilled. But also he's floating in position and he can bluff the river possibly to win the hand. So he doesn't need to like make his hand to win the pot for Allison. Also, most people, once they three bet the chip leader out of position there, they just have it. And Beriuzy has shown that he's capable of pretty much anything at any time. So for Allison to find the flat, I think is like shows that he knows how capable Beriuzy is. So we have the ace 10 here opening. Allison has shown that he's flatting a lot in these spots rather than three betting them. Again, he doesn't want to three bet fold this. Can't shove it because of the presence of Sven stack behind. So he calls with the king jack, and this is obviously like a fantastic flop. Naturally, ace 10 fits into like a check, but I think you can also see this hand because it's his best hand, just bet for value. The problem is that this hits Allison's flatting range like quite a bit, so he's just like doesn't want to see bet this board as much with his marginal hands. This is a very bad river for Beriuzy. Very bad.
Yep.
So it goes check on the flop.
Super similar to the other time where we saw jack nine of hearts, ace eight on the jack board with the eight. It can't fold, just gonna call fast, not waste clock. No one really, one of the reasons too, today's going quickly. You can see that chess clock, the players, everyone starts with the above 10 minutes. So most players haven't used a ton. Beriuzy noticeably has used the most, Sven also, and this is aces. Could he limp here off of this? I like a limp.
Yeah, min raising also.
Yeah, goes for 2.5.
Yeah, I don't think
Beriuzy is a little sticky. He does like playing pots. You know, he is here in position. He's the shortest. These guys have the.
He might three bet, dude. I mean, he could just make it like.
Yeah, 570 or
380 or something.
Yeah. No, Beriuzy definitely plays more pots than most. His creative on shorter stacks. We've seen it, but we are going to get the third giveaway underway before we get heads up here. Let me get that in there for you guys. Third giveaway, $50 GG ticket. It is the GGWSOP Space Super Circuit Montreal. Insert your GGPoker username. Good luck. I may go to that. I got to look at that. Montreal, one of my favorite stops. I used to go 2 to 4 times a year from 2012 till COVID. And then post-COVID, they didn't do quite as many series, but Playground Poker, an unbelievable spot. One of my
I was going to ask. That's Playground, right?
It's just unbelievable. Montreal's just an incredible city in itself, and Playground does such great work. JK and Phil Sabat and the boys over there do an amazing job. I've had two of my biggest scores over there too, so I'm a little biased, but truly a unique place. Just it is called Playground Poker. It is a playground, and it is fun. It is. They do everything top notch. And if you're a poker player, I would say you got to put that on your stop. And here, I'd say AP has to call here. Suited ace for this amount of chips. It's very close, but he is, wow, does fold the suited ace. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree that he has to call there.
It must be a good fold because he folded and you're thinking it and he did it. So I would think
for like 9 to 10. 9 or 10 bigs, it's closer. For like 12, it's not as close, I don't think. He needs to have like maybe at least ace 5. Probably closer to like
I guess
ace 7
that's all the more power to the shove, right? The reason why you want to shove stuff like that, because you are getting some better hands to fold like such. I would love to look at that because I actually don't know. I think I wouldn't say it's 100. I don't think that's a mandatory call, but I would think it would lean towards very close to call. But I guess maybe it's probably close to fold. Makes sense.
I think he needs to be a touch shorter for it to be a call with that particular hand.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that being
ace 7 suited, ace 8 off, maybe calling for Allison. Anyway, interesting here.
Safer in the booth. I'll tell you what, I don't get it always right, and that is, I can tell you what, I would say I can guarantee you Allison is brushed up on the that ranges, as we see GTO Wizard 9-5 10 deuce here.
Yeah, Allison also can just be like, I don't know if emotional is the right word, but like sometimes he'll pull the trigger. I'll just say that he'll pull the trigger in some big spots, like the Queen 8. And when it works, it's amazing. And when it doesn't, it hurts. But the times that he does, like he has chips back, he recovered, you know, from the queen eight bluff. He had to win a flip, but wait, what is the action here? Because I was curious how he was going to play this on the flop. Let me see. So he just checked. Beriuzy bet the flop. I feel like he's just gonna. Okay, I thought if he bet the flop, like he's just gonna bet this turn because his hand is just complete dust. This is interesting. Does Sven go with like a block here, or does he just check? Probably block, since he's uncapped here and force Beriuzy. Okay, so he checks. I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, these spots are like so complex. Ranges are so wide. I mean, I guess it's a single raise pot, so it's not as wide as limp check, but yeah, Beriuzy just stabbed on the flop and gave up. I mean, it's not unreasonable. And Sven just is comfortable making the river decision, so he checks and is like, okay, if he jams or bets, I'll figure it out. Deuces, here we go. Flipping.
Here it is. Deuces
Oh,
to ace
no.
four. A little trusty four comes in, needs help, needs a deuce, 2 outs, 1 to come. It is
He gives him the early good game.
Oof, the baby. He's got the baby in the
GG.
chat. There it is, GG, and we are heads up.
Good game, Beriuzy. You fought hard, brother.
Yeah, what a game, what a score. He came in, I
Yeah.
believe, was he second? He got third at 170, another score. And I do saw on his socials, he misclicked something, had a big score. I think that was another tournament, and he did have a great result. So again, he's running good across the board. 7 mil, basically a pop. We got a stone even, heads up. Sven getting his third title, or AP, who came in chip leader, getting his first. Brazil, Austria, the two most prevalent country flags on our show battle here today. So let's see. Something's got to give. Something's got to win here. And what a final table it's been. Mike Wasserman, Small Edges Poker, partners with Brian Paris, B. Paris, the second player to 10 mil online back in the day. Now that's most of these guys have 10 million in GG poker earnings alone. The times have changed, and we've got 1,000 plus on the show today. Appreciate everyone kind of joining us as the World Cup game ends. France and Spain, that is over. And I got the third winner to pick here for the giveaway for 50 GG ticket. You guys can still enter. Hit that thumbs up and be subscribed, and type in the keyword there. And we will see here. This is again not what's 70, 60 something blinds, right? We got plenty of play here. Heads up.
Yeah, this will be a good one. Both these guys very well versed from going from 9 to 1. And for MTTs, you don't spend a lot of time playing heads up, but it's for all the money. It's just like somehow is like an overlooked part of the game for people that play MTTs. But the ones that, it's funny, the ones that put in the work are effects into other, areas of the tournament. Like if you get well versed in playing heads up, you understand ranges better, and it ends up making you better shorthanded and just like putting people on hands and understanding range interactions better. So definitely a good investment of your time and energy to get good at heads up. By the way, I'm gonna throw my link to Mid Stakes Mastery in the chat right now, maybe once at the end. I use that bit.ly link, so it's at least like a little bit shorter, but it's not a live, you can't cut and paste it in this chat. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out. And then if you want to contact me, if you're interested in coaching, you can email me at strungoutcoaching@gmail.com. And I'll respond as soon as I can. All right, so Sven's gotten the better end of the heads up so far, getting started. Let's see what happens here. Folds the 10 deuce. This is interesting, man. Two very experienced players. Aggressive, capable. Heads up for like what? 70K, 60K.
Yeah, this is a big one. There's a 10K Baha Mar seat, and the extra the pride, of course, Sven getting into it. I mean, again, winning this is, you see how many great players have not won a title. So to start getting an okay twice, once an accident, twice a coincidence, 3 times the habit, he knows it's an important one. It's the money, yes. It's the 10K Bahamas extra thing, sure. The GG Millions ticket, but again, to win, it's hard. And you know AP wants it. You know you want to get that first title. Like, it just kind of, the
Oh yeah.
confidence comes in. You see Kelvin Kerber feature on the Online Poker Millionaires, gets a title shortly after, was there knocking. It is a, it's one of those things. It's just very much so I think there's a lot to do with winning and confidence, and this is a battle. These guys are playing for a lot. They know each other well, and they know what's at stake. So again, money, title, prestige, 10K, Bahamar, GG Millions, Bahamas, December ticket. We do have that third giveaway underway. So good luck to everyone in that chat. We got 160. We're over 1,000 peaked in here. The game is over. The World Cup game
He's
is
gonna
over,
get
and the World
cold.
Cup coming around. This is wild. We're only seeing 2 more World Cups game. There were 104. We're down to like less than 2% of the games left for the World Cup, and big teams. Top 4 made the semis.
I didn't realize how long the World Cup was.
Like 30, almost 40 days. I believe a 39-day
Crazy.
tournament.
It's been going
39
the
days
whole
a
World
game.
Series.
Yeah, it literally is. It's like almost timed the exact same time to start and finish there. So pretty cool. And yeah, definitely been a lot of action, a lot of stuff to do and follow. And sports wise, we're getting into, it's already almost the most busy time where it comes up into football and college football, basketball, all this stuff starts. It's sort of a very quiet period of time coming up here as we see Queen 7, Jack 7, Queen 7, the computer hand. If you get dealt Queen 7 off, it is a very much know that it's called the computer hand. It's a dead million hand. So if you have better than that, you can assume by the average you have the better starting hand. Of course, that doesn't, as we saw, what ended the ace queen suited to kings was our last show 2 weeks ago. That was the end of hand. So it's not, you don't just get queen 8 off and you're like, oh, I have the best hand, but that is an average, as we see here, 2 better than average hands. King deuce suited, ace 8 off, as we are going to see no one making a pair. That is a theme in No Limit Hold'em. So much the aggression rewarded, as is the case.
Like a big part of heads up, a lot of times in MTTs, especially when you're playing like low mid stakes, the effective stacks are pretty short when you get heads up. This is actually a good structured 10K where they're pretty deep. Although, yeah, some of the like 109s, 215s. So King Deuce wins it, gets a little bit of value. You will end up heads up. By the time it gets to heads up, sometimes it's like 30, 40, 50 bigs deep, sometimes more. But at a certain, once you get to like 25 bigs, things shift significantly because you can't really support a raise fold strategy as frequently because you're putting in like too much of a percentage of your chips. So you end up seeing a lot of limping in heads up. But right now we're seeing like a pretty high raise first in from the button because they're deep enough to continue and defend against a 3-bet. They can, bet multiple streets. But if they do end up getting shallower, I think you'll start seeing some limps.
For sure. Yeah, listen, these guys play great. They know how to play the stack depths. You do see exactly, great point. They're deeper. They're still doing some min raising. They're playing. They're not limping. But once you get shallow or your opponent gets shallow, there's a lot of limps. You don't want to be min raise folding to jams, giving up the extra chips. You also want to have traps be balanced. Arthur, who's won the most of these on the GG Millions, he has the most titles. He has shown us kind of a master class in finishing it off. And he also, again, was chip leader in the main with 4 million at one point. What is that, like 60K stack? So like 30, a lot, 50. He had 60 stacks in his stack. He also got heads up to Negreanu when Negreanu won that 2.2 mil just now. He also won a bracelet this summer. So showing us the dominance live and online. That's something that has been coming. We get to see. Again, I think it's safe to say the 10K online, I don't know how you would attribute it, what you would calibrate it to live, but playing this 10K online tournament, this is the best in the world. This is the biggest event, the brightest stars, and playing a 10K online might be a 50K live, right? Or 40, something like that, 40K calibration. It is definitely a marquee event playing a 10K online, the skill level.
Yeah, for sure. I thought when I saw that Martirosian had so many chips in the main, I was like, oh, he's it's going to be like impossible for him to be out because he's so good at navigating like all stack sizes and finding like creative ways of winning pots, getting people to fold better hands. I was surprised to hear that, like, you know, I don't even think he made the top 100, but you know he's going to go for it.
Yeah,
Just like Martin.
He's a guy that 4 million chip leader. Like he could literally run away with it. Like he gets the
Yeah.
right situation, right scenario. He gets on day 6, something people are playing timid. He gets some hands. He gets in spots. He's going to know how to maximize. He's going to know how to overbet, get max value in a spot where someone can't fold. He's going to know where to tune it back. So again, he might have got coolered, might have just overdid it a bit, but either way, like he's a guy that you're not going to see him limping in. He's not going to be with 27 left and 20th. He's going to be pushing as we see a nut flush backdoor on a paired board. Wow. 2-pair flop. Wonder if I'm sorry, queen 4 does have a pair, but ace 3 suited makes the nut flush. Queen 4 off.
I think
1.3 in the
Sven
middle.
bets for value here. See, this sizing might get him in trouble, or it might save him money. But Allison's gonna hammer this. Like, this is a block bet, right? So the function of it is like to keep not first, but it functions as keeping Allison from bluffing as frequently, forcing him to raise as a bluff, and then also getting called by some worse hands, and then getting called by some better hands, like a better queen that doesn't want to raise.
So
Or
it does say call. It has a queen blocking boats, has a heart blocking flushes, but that is a wow. So it's just literally saying this to me is where this is where I know I need to get in the lab, because it's like when it says you have to call, like that is a spot where I'd be looking to fold, and it's saying you have to call. So again, it shows, yes, in that case you're beat, but it's telling you at that hand, that situation, that blocker bet, you're supposed to bet call there. And he does make the right GTO play. Allison does have the goods and gets shown the bad news.
I wonder if you're willing to call the raise, maybe it's cheaper to just check and just call the bet against someone that's willing to bluff. But maybe he induced with the intention to call raise. I mean, we see that Allison's capable, right? And like, you know, this is part of the game. There was when you bluff enough and you're capable enough, people have to start giving you, they just have to call you. And when you have it, you just get more value. And if your frequencies are right, you get more value than you cost yourself when you bluff and get called. There was a hand with at the 10K 6 max yesterday where Cal got paid with aces in a spot where other people wouldn't have got paid. But because he plays enough hands and has a certain image, Deep Heaters paid him off in a really big pot.
Is he? What time is that final table today going?
It started at 2. Yeah, so right after this, I'm gonna probably head down there and sweat that because they're 4-handed. I mean, talk about a summer. Win the 10K Raz, win the 10K horse, and then possibly win the 10K 6 max. I mean, those are prestigious events. I think it was sick that last year, didn't the grinder win the 50K and the main?
He did. Yeah, he did. And this year,
he
went
that's
deep in the main again.
best accomplishment.
I'll tell you this. I got a grinder story. So I was 18 years old. I went to the first ever WPT boot camp back in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I was like 18. I was on spring break. I met Mike Sexton for the first time. I was in this WPT boot camp. And Mike was doing the course. You know, this thing was going on. And then Grinder was at the Hollywood. Nice ace 9. Nice pot there. 5 million. So Grinder walks in. He had just won like a $500 buy-in or a 1K, maybe like, 600, 800 person tournament. And he had some success already. Mike knew who he was, but I just remember seeing Grinder. I was 18 years old. I don't know. Mike must have been 28, or I don't know how old he is actually now. He's probably, maybe is he, what's he, mid 40s, late 40s?
I would say late 40s. Yeah.
So he,
a little bit older than us.
He like walks in, Mike, shaking hand, talk to him. And I remember Mike Sexton telling me, he's like, yeah, that's one of, that's a guy, a great great player, but I just remember meeting him, seeing him there at that point. He just was winning like big field tournaments early on. Like he had already had some great success. So, he's just a guy who's been doing it forever and really does well in those big fields. And again, to your point, he plays a really interesting style. He's not like a solver guy, but he's in a lot of pots. He really has good feel, good reads, knows how to get max value, and knows when to kind of slow it down too. So yeah, really tough player. And again, not surprising to see the success that he's had.
It was interesting to talk to Justin Lapka, Lappy Poker. He was at the grinders table for I believe it was in the main, yeah, for like a full day, and to discuss some of the hands with him. It's really interesting to hear some of the table talk, things that the grinder was saying, and just some of the hands were really interesting. I mean, he is a pain in the butt to play with at the table. He's involved all the time. He's in your face. It's exhausting.
Yeah,
It's exhausting to
he
play
also
against.
does give off that energy where it's just like it feels like if you call, he's going to show you the nuts, and if you fold, he's going to show you a bluff. Like he just kind of he knows how to really make polar put you in tough spots, and I think he really is, again, sort of like a Helmuth. These guys that just have this bring Kenny this ability to read what players are doing, like what they're capable of or not, and he's able to make big folds or big calls accordingly, and vice versa. As we see Queen 4 and Ace 7, and Queen 4 going to go ahead and make a nice hang in there. Ace 7, a nice selection to bluff with. Ace 7 had a club, had some straight blockers going. As we are at the 7140 level, we're still seeing some raises as Jack 5 suited, Motown here. The Brazilians love those green cards, the clubs. He's going to call hit top pair, and GTO Wizard still working with us here, heads up, and a check immediately. And here is saying to check most of the time, betting if you do bet a little bigger, does check and hits a big card.
An
there, the
expensive
9.
turn card.
Yes, it could be. That is literally, and now we're seeing a check or over bet. He does go for big bet, and no way King 9 can fold here as played. He's going to actually think probably he's good a lot. We can't blame him.
It's tough,
Nice
man. When you
check,
play
check.
against someone that's really aggressive and has a lot of bluffs, and then they start making top pairs, good second pairs, and they know how to get value, especially in heads up, you're just gonna lose. It's just like, because it's so expensive. Like he has top pair with a 5 kicker, and like if you don't have a lot of experience, it seems like he's overplaying his hand here. But this is like a very clear value bet. Yeah, I mean, good fold to Sven's credit. I think Allison just has enough value there, where Sven. But that's interesting. I would have expected that he just calls.
As this heads up goes, I'm going to get that third winner to pick for the $50 giveaway. I also do want to remind everyone there is a Twitter X pinned for 50 cash. So if you don't have a GG account, you can win that one. And that is there. Okay. We keep it rolling here.
Nice. 7 deuce got the walk. He's pretty happy about that. 9 deuce. Yeah, I mean, I think when you start seeing like bottom 5%, maybe 10% of hands, there's gonna be like some walks, but for the most part, we're gonna see these guys, heads up, we're gonna see him playing nearly every hand. So it really affects how often you're gonna bluff, how thinly you're gonna value bet. It just kind of changes. Like in this spot, this is whoever is aggressive is kind of just gonna win this hand. And they have the same hand. So whoever's in position is probably gonna win the hand. They may have just enough showdown value where it goes check, check. Yeah. For sure. If someone had 9 high there or like 8 high, a bet would have gone in and they probably would have won the hand. Here, 8-9 opens. I could see a world where, yeah, it's so interesting. This 3-bet is like very interesting to me because this hand has so much equity. Like, I guess he's 3-bet calling it. There's no way he's gonna 3-bet fold off of like less than 25 blinds. It's interesting that he chooses to 3-bet it. I would think he would shove before he would 3-bet not all in. Or flat.
Yeah, so Sven's starting to get shorter, and he is going to be min raising, not limping. And King 4 suited, this is a pretty nice hand pre-flop. Both players with suited strong Broadway, or not Broadway, sorry, Queen 10 suited and King High. So King High suited,
Yeah.
Queen High suited, and Queen 10 suited getting a much better flop here. King 4 going to get out of the way there. Just decides not worth to, not too many great turn cards if he is ahead still, which he was. He will fold in here. And again, two very premium hands. Now that's a nice PLO hand. Any PLO players out there, put that together. King Queen suited, Jack 9 of hearts says King Queen, and hello. Hello, top pair, and we have a gut shot with a flush draw, Jack High, strong flush draw.
I think we're going to see a check raise. Because Allison sizes up, it makes a call not so appealing, and it forces him to play his draws faster out of position. So money just goes in here. I think you could see Allison do either thing here. I don't think he thinks there's a lot of check raise folds, so he'll probably put the money in. Also, he doesn't have a heart in his hand, so he's unblocking all the flush draws. So yeah, he's going to click it, and this is it. See what happens. He either holds or he doesn't. So we're either even in chips.
Ooh,
oh
hello.
my goodness gracious.
That is quite a card. And I got to say, King Queen, I mean, so King Queen is in real bad shape now. That is
Yeah,
looks
money's
clean.
still gonna go
It looks
in.
clean, and you improved the top two, but it's actually a
Yeah.
nightmare card. Now he needs to fade a 4-outer. We're gonna see an even match
King?
and actually heat for Sven.
Queen of
No.
diamonds is not
A
live.
9.
Or
Wow.
sorry, Queen of hearts is not live.
Yeah, that's true. That was not
That's
one of the
sick.
outs. Yeah.
Wow, he just peeled. I wonder what his plan is on brick turns. Is he gonna check fold? I guess his hand, because it's unders to the king, maybe. Or was he gonna lead shove bricks? Try to, yeah, I'm not sure. I guess he's just check folding if he bricks. Unless he turns like a 9. Unlucky, Allison. Plenty of play left. Pretty much even in chips here. That was a wild run out. So the 5-4 now has some showdown value. I mean, if they're deep enough stacked, I think, yeah, I still think he's just gonna check back. Yeah. And I imagine Allison is just gonna check to get the showdown and win with the 9. Ten three, not good enough. Gives him the walk. Sven gonna open the 4s here. We'll see if Allison wants to 3-bet this. Probably. Decides to call. Imagine it's gonna go check call.
Ooh, interesting
check,
card.
check.
Fours feels good. You still feel you got backup. You probably could be good. Ace-6 also kind of drawing where it could have the best hand. Also has a little extra draw to ace-high, so can't fold. And there is a 5 on the river, and fours going to likely just show this down. Although I wonder, you do get value from a deuce at 3. It's saying check always. I wonder, it feels greedy, but not impossible to bet here. Ace-high could call you, a 3 could call you, a deuce could call you, 5's unlikely. So it's kind of like I actually don't hate a bet, although interesting that it says 100% check. Yeah, I would think betting is interesting there. And actually raise large though comes on the table. I guess maybe that's part of the equation is in this world of betting that you do open up, although you block ace-4, the board's paired, and this is a wild hand.
I think he
I like the bet.
is not
I
gonna
like
fold.
this bet.
I think he
Wow.
folds.
Wow, only 20% of the time. It actually was recommending similarly to raise. So cool hand there. And we are back to basically even. What a battle today. I got to announce the third winner. Let's get to 200 thumbs up. We got 177. Epic show. Mike Wasserman, Small Edges Poker in the building. Partners with B. Paris. Got a course for you guys, 50 hours of content. He gave a code in there for you guys, and do appreciate the time. He knows his stuff, and he has put a lot of time, effort into that, and we do appreciate him here today. You guys can get it for a much discounted price. He did put a code in there. You can do that again. Maybe drop the link, Mike, as we see again. We'll be seeing more of Mike, and we know he is in good form, fresh off a good score at the was it the LAPC
Commerce.
or which in LA Commerce at the which series was it technically LAPC or which series was that?
No, it was just it was just a WSOP circuit event.
Got it.
Circuit
yeah,
series.
a lot of WSOP circuit events. I will point out to everyone on the WSOP live app, it is an incredible app. And there is you can see what's going on. You look at chip counts, you see what happened past events. You can search players. You can make notes on players. You can track them. You can follow them. You can do all these things. But also for now, for example, there's multiple WSOP circuit events. There's a super circuit in Montreal. You can see the schedule. You can go there, click on it. You can literally register from your phone, and it's there. So you can see upcoming events. I think I was going to take a peek. I just saw it. WSOP Live. I'm going to pull it up. I know. So, okay, there's the Horseshoe, July 14th to the 25th. That's in Vegas, kind of piggybacking on the WSOP. There's also the Olympic Park Casino in Estonia, in Tallinn. They have that going on, the July 23rd to August 2nd. There's also the Bratislava in Slovakia. Raise. Nice hand.
Thin value raise on the river.
And then the super circuit is August 26th to September 12th. And then they actually have the Big Bola casinos in Barcelo, Mexico, Santa Fe. That's Mexico City, August 31 to September 11th. So it's actually almost the exact same time as Playground. So look, you're in Mexico, you're in Latin America, like I want to go play, or you're in you're upper, in the U.S., upper states, Canada, you want to go there. There's stuff during that time. 2 circuit events go on at the same time. All on the app, all the info, very easy to find, use, register, and get information there. So shout out to WSOP and GG. Again, I said it in was talking about it's a super baby. I feel like they've done something very special there with what has happened, technology and the top site combining with the biggest brand for live.
It's just a game changer. And I'm surprised that the other casinos have not followed suit and created apps, because
I can
play the Colossus.
Good for competition. It's good for competition, right? When there's multiple sites and whatnot, but it's just kind of been now a blowout, and it's sure. There's some other series, there's stuff going on, and but it's just like, it's just not that close. There's not really the biggest events online and live and the best technology. It's just all kind of merged together. So I'm biased, but that's how I feel, and I think many would say the same.
Do you remember trying to play these big field tournaments at the World Series, and there'd be a line that's like wrapped around the entire room, and you're like, I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm out. I'm not going to play it.
That all kind of gets taken care of with the registration. Everything kind of just moves smoother and slower and sturdier, I should say, more steady. Once you get all that kind of worked out from the foundation, everything's just simpler, easier, and less congested and more pleasant. As GTO Wizard is in overdrive today, making up for some lost time today on the heads up portion, as this is saying to call with Queen 8, has some
double gutter
and Queen High could be good. There's some flush draws you beat or other hands.
I think he might raise. Although Sven's not okay, so he did. He's not taken these spots too frequently with his draws, but this seems like a really nice hand to do it with. You're blocking both sides of the straight and you can still get there. I mean, dude, if he follows through with the Queen 8, it could work.
Interesting. So now it says check. I guess like part of it is if you're repping Queen King, right, or 8-9 here, now all of a sudden the board pairs with the diamond, unless you were betting a hand that was on the diamond. I mean, this is interesting that it says check when you have one of the worst hands you can have, Queen 8 high.
I think like Sven wants to have like a diamond in his hand to bluff here. I think, but that's one of those spots where you're like, it doesn't feel right really to like follow through here. But those are the spots where if you do pull the trigger, and heads up is the time to do it. When it gets through, it's just the complete shift in the heads up match, And that's what it takes sometimes, is like, man, I decided to check raise the turn. I know the board pairing is like not a great river for him, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough to pull the trigger. But sometimes when you do in those spots and they get through, it's just like you go on to win the tournament. So Allison opens the button here. 5-3 suited gets a little fancy. I don't think the A7 is going to be folding. I wonder if he's going to shove or call. So he decides to call. Oh boy. Let's see what sizing Sven goes for. I don't think he can check this hand. It's a little bit too vulnerable. I think he just goes with a small bet, like protection bet. But if he goes too small, he's going to get action pretty frequently, and there's not, you know, not a lot of great turns.
It's amazing how these shake out. Like sometimes you see a heads up match that takes 5 minutes. Sometimes you see a battle. Like these guys ended up with the exact same chips. And we are playing for our dinner here too. Sven versus Allison, right? Dead even. Also
Yep.
for the payouts, it's a much bigger payout as Sven wins if you had Sven as a bet, because he was, I believe, 11-1 or so, and Allison was 3-1. So a lot on the table. Anyone sweating there? You guys can let us know in the chat if you are sweating for a payout on a bet here, because there is a lot to play for. It's pretty even now as we see Jack 4 and King 10 both big boards here. King 10 with the strong middle pair and Jack 4 with the weak top pair, as he does check back.
I'm surprised that he doesn't bet for value on the turn. The hand plays out easier if he just checks back, though, for sure.
Yeah.
It's tough against people that can mix check. Yeah, so it just goes back call. So pretty big pot for Allison there. Like double barreling thin for value in position is tough sometimes against better players because they will check raise you with some of their draws. But against players that have a propensity for calling, then you can just value bet thin in position and just like play your hand like really profitably and easily. Like you just bet 2 streets and check the river, and they'll just call you with their draws and check the river when they miss. And also call you with like worse hands. But it's tough against the better players. You really have to be mindful of what hands you check back and try to go to showdown with, and what hands you bet for value. Especially at final tables, there's just like a lot more checking. Hands almost play the way you think they would intuitively. Like when you have king queen on ace king 3, like instead of betting, you just check it. There's like not a lot of bad turn cards, and your hand has showdown value. King 10 gonna win this one. Wow, it's been back and forth. Whoever wins this earned it. That's for sure.
Yeah, this has been a battle. You can tell how much they want it. This is again third title for Sven or a first title for Allison.
Yeah. I don't know why I feel like Allison's gonna just okay. For some reason, I think he's gonna get really out of line soon. So I guess Sven just goes with the block here. Yeah. I think Allison, he might call, but like, I think he's just got to raise for value here. And he's going to go big.
Wow. Ace deuce. Nice find. Nice bet. I mean, yes, it's a river top pair, but you lose to a variety of things. Of course, as always, it's not easy, but he does just get
Gotta
a lot
walk
of
the
that's
line,
just
man.
sizing. It's understanding sizing, understanding tendencies, and he has got the lead again over 2-1, actually 2.5-1. So a nice, almost 2.5-1. Kings to king 5. If he's able to keep him in the pot here, this could be another great result for Allison.
This is the end of the hand. Yeah. Both these guys have played really well at this final table. I mean, the one misstep would be Allison's queen 8 bluff on the 4-liner, but is it a misstep? The guy had, you know, it's against the big blind who can have straights on both sides of the board, but I don't know if it's a mistake. I mean, he's getting 2 pair to fold. Conceivably could get the bottom end of the straight to fold too at some frequency in that hand. But yeah, this is going to be a hard one for King Jack to win. He might still feel compelled to call here. I mean, Sven's got to bluff here, right? He has to bluff here. He checks. What do I know? I mean, he's blocking the straight. He has queen high. So interesting. I guess he wants Allison to have diamonds. So maybe he's bluffing hearts. I don't know. Seems like a bluff to me. I'm sure he has
3 to 1 and change on a lead. It is wide open for Sven to come back. Still enough to do it, but it's getting to be separation. Of course, we know heads up, hard to finish, hard to actually get it done here. We see top pair versus a weak open ended. It has a club in the back there that could be relevant, but a turn is a brick 10-4. Weak top pair still good. Still good as a does go. So it is always interesting to see how guys go decide. Sometimes it's pot control, sometimes it's pushing, depending on the board texture, stack sizing, bet sizing, what they do. It's just a game. Again, a lot of imperfect information. These guys have for sure played a lot of heads up, and so much money is in heads up. Are you surprised, Mike, to this day, the amount of time, effort that maybe people don't put into heads up, considering if you play tournaments that's where so much the money is, that there's not as much work? Because you hear different answers. People think, okay, heads up, even stacked. What is like me, you versus Cal, right? Me versus Fedor Holtz. Like, heads up. Okay, what 2 players, good players, someone's maybe world class, but what is the difference? If you play all things equal versus a guy who has an advantage or better player, but how to play or could win a day, how big of a gap really is there in heads up play? How do you address that? How would you let the audience kind of calibrate that? Like here, you can't imagine there's too big a difference on the level here, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I get heads up in like a $50, $100 MTT, and my opponent clearly doesn't know what they're doing heads up.
Yeah.
And I know the adjustments like immediately within, a couple of hands. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
they're raising the button every hand off of 20 bigs. Like I know the adjustments and they're drastic real fast. And it immediately affects the stacks in the match. But then so that's me to somebody that I'm better than, but I'm a fish if I'm heads up with Yuri, or heads up with Fedor, or heads up with somebody that's like very well studied, or Martirosian. Like I would just feel like I'm drawing dead. It'd be like
well, I think to the point, one thing interesting here is Forrest, nice hand there. One thing that's super interesting is like awareness, right? It's good to be aware where you stand or where you think you stand, because if that's the case, your strategy is different. Maybe you're just like, I push the variance, like I got king 9 off and it's close and whatever. I want to try to get the money, and yeah, it might be 60-40 or 2-1 behind, or maybe even the worst of it, but I'm not going to get whittled down and play a game where I'm trying to chisel them down, or where someone who's an experience versus someone who's world class.
Yeah, it's like, let's play big pots.
In this scenario, like you might be the guy, you could be the 10th best player in the world, but you're playing against a couple of the best, right? Or you could be the 2000th best player in the world, but you're playing against no one that really plays poker at all. So you might be the best player by far. It's all relative, and it's good to be aware of what's happening.
So you want a little throwback?
Always.
You're gonna remember this. Dutch Boyd got heads up with Joe Hashem after he won the main. It was like a 1500 six max.
Okay.
And
hold that thought. This could be.
Yeah, this
could certainly be at the limp too. And we're on 17, 18, 30, 18 blinds. Sevens, massive hand, 3-bet. Aces is thinking about it. Vegas and the Mirage. We know the Mirage got imploded. Shout out to the Hard Rock going up right there. But this is going to implode unless a 7 from Heavens from Sven can come in. Hello.
Oh my goodness gracious.
8-7-3. Maybe we got nowhere to go. Cancel the dinner plans. Cancel the afternoon if you're over in Vegas for the late regging or what's happened. This is a literal, absolute ridiculous setup here. A set on 8-7-3 versus aces. I mean,
This is
crazy
limp
stuff.
call, you know.
Yeah.
He limped
Yeah.
the aces as he should, 15, 16, or like less than 20 effective.
18 bigs. Yeah.
Yeah. And then slow plays, but it doesn't really matter. Like the money was going to go in this hand in one way or another. Maybe the
Yeah,
river
just a
is an
decision to
ace.
raise here, call. I mean, does call. It is actually
I
even
mean,
a sicker card
yeah,
because now you're like, okay,
yeah.
somehow in a world where like he
He has
had two
queen
pair
seven.
or
Yeah,
whatever. There's a lot of draws going to the river. That is like the stone cold clear hand. You block ace three, so he doesn't like.
yeah.
There's really no threes in the world that he has, right? Like as played. So you have effectively the nuts. He's going to be stunned, absolutely shell shocked. Both players can't breathe, and we're back. Let's just go back to dead even dinner time. Sven in the lead. He can't breathe.
So
He says
sick.
WTF. Allison can't breathe. He could taste his first title as we're getting to 200 thumbs up. I got to pick the winner here. Got the third one marinating. I do have the winner. Let me find it. I'm going to pick it as we get to 200, and we've had over 1,000 on today. We got going. Took a little while. I think it was a bit of a factor of the World Cup game going as well as summertime being a little slow. But we're back in 1,000 territory and appreciate everyone being here. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. Pleasure to have you. Tell me the Dutch Boyd story. That was a crazy hand.
Yeah, he was playing heads up with Joe, and it was right after he won the main and or the next year, and he was just like, "You're too good, man. I'm just gonna go all in." He's just like, Joe would open, he would just jam, and he's like, let's run 60-40s and 50-50s,
But
and
you're saying Dutch Boyd was saying Joe's too good?
yeah, at the time,
Really?
yeah, yeah.
I would think
I
Dutch
remember
thinks he would be a
vividly.
better player than Joe.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, maybe he was, but he felt outclassed, or maybe Joe was just playing so well
I mean, Joe's a
at the
great
final
player.
table.
I'm just saying, I would think that, yes, he did win the main. And of course, you got to instantly give a ton of credit. But I think Dutch probably plays a lot more poker than him and was actually at the peak
I
of
agree,
playing a lot. So that's interesting. But yeah, it's all
but he
mental
was just like,
perspective. And yeah,
didn't feel like he had an edge, so he's just like, let's just run all ins. Good luck,
small
buddy.
edges, small edges. That's what the game is about. It's true in anything.
Taking
Like I said,
away his edge.
tennis.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, or his perceived edge. Yeah, that was fun. That was the what's it called? The good old days.
Yeah, that was wow, 205. That was the early days, over 20 years ago, 21 years ago. Yeah, not even 21.
Wow,
That was a long time ago.
I was a different person.
10-6, Queen 5, 2 decades. A lot happens. It's a lot happened in poker and in content, that's for sure, and software. Back in the days, I remember those early days online. It's pretty cool to see where it's at now. As we see the money spread, the gifts, the emojis, the energy, and we are seeing Queen 5, 10-6. Pretty fair fight here. Queen 5 actually much behind the better pair and better draws. 10-6 improves two pair. Allison, that hand actually, that was cruel. The trap, that board, like I said, even with the aces, like the
Yeah, the way
three
it
even
ran
is
out.
not even as played. Like he's not really isoing like a three. I mean, it's just the nuts, really. It is literally the nuts. Like that is sick.
So this is interesting to me, like how Allison plays these spots. He does come with the raise. Gonna have a hard time winning this one. And he goes with the big size. Like again, this is very interesting to me. So it's like bottom of range. Kind of like a one and done type hand for the most part. Depending on some turns and rivers, that's it. If it's a heart, he probably goes nuts. The problem is when you size up that much, the hands that actually continue on the flop are pretty strong. So maybe he doesn't bluff the turn very often with his flush draws. Here we have the classic 4-8 off versus 5-7 off match. In position, pretty nice here. I imagine Allison just calls. He goes with the raise.
Jungle, he'll tell you, bet your gutters. 8-4, gonna fold there. 5-7, picks it up. Nicely done. He's kind of wrapped around that board with some good turns to improve. And then also, of course, already just having the best hand, very possible. Allison, though, to his credit, he kind of just keeps separating. They get close, and even then he's finding a way to kind of chisel it up to take the lead, 2-1, 3-1. And that cooler, of course, aces to sevens, 80% of the time, that was going to be over. But we will keep it rolling here with you. Having fun. Hope you guys are enjoying. Again, Mike Wasserman, you can give him a follow on social, Small Edges Poker. Jeff Gross here, and we are down to 2. Similar, almost down to 2 in the FIFA World Cup. There are 3 left. Ace 8, good enough there. All right. Queen 3, 4, 5, both with pairs. The 4-5 suited has the best of it. 890 in the middle. Going to check back. 5 is good if it gets to win. Queen 3, kind of a weird one where, yeah, you just think you have the best hand enough, right? You have a pair, but this is not a great run out. You block Queen 10. Probably.
Wow, he finds a value bet.
Maybe calling here, I guess.
Sven might raise here. This is like a pretty reasonable bluff candidate. He goes with the call. Sick bet by Allison.
Yeah, nice hand. Chess clock. Allison playing rapid fast. 10 minutes, 10 seconds left versus 2 minutes. So again, we are getting into it. Turned into, it looked like it could be a very fast show, and then we've had a long heads up battle. We're gonna announce. I gotta let that got over 200. I'm gonna pick the winner here very soon.
I was playing the Venetian 1K yesterday. I mean, if I bagged, I would have had to leave a little bit early from the stream because the restart was at 2 p.m. and I thought that was like just late enough to where maybe I could do both. We were getting close to the money, and I was talking to Brian Hastings on break, and I was like, if by some chance I bag and you don't, you think you could hop in for heads up if I'm not in there? I was like trying to figure out if we could get someone in the booth to cover. He said I busted like 10 off the money, and then I was fully available today to go through the full stream.
How much did that pay? What was going? How big? I mean, those are big events.
It was just it was a 1K. The main cash was like 2,200, and then first place it was a 1 mil guarantee. It probably broke it by a little bit, and I would say maybe 3 up top, 300.
Oh wow,
they're awesome. I love those events. Love them.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great return. Great shot at a big one. Fun to play. Probably decent level, right? Of like being fairly soft, I would imagine.
Yeah, lots of soft spots, but it's re-entry, and so like the pros down the stretch, it gets kind of tough. You got to earn it, but like the early and mid stages, plenty of value.
Yep.
I love those tournaments. It's my sweet spot.
Yeah, it's
willing to bluff it off, willing to call down, willing to be patient, whatever it takes.
Yeah, that's a nice ROI. That's a nice return for first in those, and it's great to see. Again, there's so much health in the economy. It's so many different series and places and games going. Obviously, WSOP leading the charge in Vegas, but there are other options there.
Yeah, this next year I'm going to play some of the circuits. I'm going to try to make it out to like Cherokee, make it out to Florida. Yeah, going to be doing some more live poker this year. And then hitting the gym and hitting Sims. Come back even stronger for the World Series next year.
Yeah, it goes quick, right? It's
yeah, very quick.
It's already like, and then it's Bahamas, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, World Series already, super quick.
Yeah,
super
December.
Quick. Time flies. I got to say this WSOP. How many times? How long have you been going? You've been going since you were. Have you gone 20 plus years WSOP?
No, I mean, I haven't done like the full series until maybe post 2020. I've always
Yeah.
come out for like 2 weeks, take a break, come back for 2 weeks. I
Ooh,
will say,
pair here.
yeah, I will. Oh, they could.
Wow.
Wow.
Check.
Yeah. I mean, there's a world where they just get it in. Like Sven ISOs and Allison shoves, and he just feels compelled to call with the fours. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much bigger this pot can get. Maybe we see a river, maybe not. So I got here like the end of May. 7 days in, I felt like I had been here for a month. You know, I mean, when you get here, you register and you're just you're in the loop. You know, you're in Groundhog's Day where you bust something, you re-enter, you check late reg. Can you make it to, can you make it to Aria or win or whatever? And you're just in the rat race immediately. So pacing yourself is like super important when you're here for the full summer.
Here we go again. Both players flop. I mean, pretty strong to get top pair versus mid pair, but not money going in with the weak kickers on those. And it is still rolling here as, let me see, I'm going to get the winners queued up anyway. It's been a while that got it set over 200. We did get over 200.
Jam, call, jam. Yeah.
All right,
They're getting
got
just
the winner.
short enough.
We are over 200. Congrats to Mob Ties, as I will put that in the chat. You just got a $50 ticket. I think that is your name, Mob Ties. Got to double check, but yeah, we are queens to jack 3. Hello, nice hand there, queens, and he's stepping into it.
Wow.
Top sets.
He just calls. Yeah, I mean, he's got to throw out a bet here. He might bluff it all off here. He might bluff it off. I mean, there's like some turns where he's just like got a blast, and I think he has to bet again here, and then he's gonna feel compelled to follow through. And Allison just somehow limp called this hand and flop top set, and he just gets to let this guy bet into him.
Yeah, you're right. If he does, okay, he does check. But congrats to Mob Ties. You just won that $50 third GG ticket. Gonna get that over 200. Pretty amazing. We had about 1,000 on. 200 of you guys have hit that thumbs up. Appreciate it. You're eligible for that giveaway, and we will be getting the tickets sent over as we see now. Jack 3 on the river, 3 million in the pot,
Check,
5 million
check.
here. Queens, top set flop of queens. The flush does come in. There is also straights now. There is flushes, but effectively top set. The king did turn, and Jack 3 off here with 5 mil. And no GTO wizard assistance here, but Jack 3, he does have a key heart, but I mean, he's got one of the dustiest hands you could have. Oh, 1.8 million. Well, queens with the queen of hearts. Is this good enough to ask for the rest? Either way, it's going to end here, right? No, definitely not calling jack high. So either way, this pot is going to Allison his way. He's going to be back up over 10 million. He's going to shove, and that'll do that. So there we go. Again, Sven keeps getting back to slight chip leader, and then it keeps going the other direction. But at some point, will Allison just close it off? 11 mil to 3 mil, ace, queen, 7-10 off. And does he start limping? Yes, he's on that 11, 12 blind plan, and there it is, just gonna pick it up. So we will keep it rolling here. What a battle, what a day, what a fun final table, but we will still go. Oh, hello, this looks like a qualified hand. These guys have battled heads up, and we got 11 blinds to a limp and jack queen. This could just go jam, call, and on their backs. 40% of a royal. Ace 10 suited is ahead. It is a semi flip though. It's not crazy ahead. It is ahead. Ace 10 to get his first title, deny Sven his third. That's a big flop. Spades are good. Now he needs a 9, queen, or jack non-spade. He's saying that Greg goes all in good game, and it's an 8.
GG.
That is GG. That is Mr. Allison. He gets it done. Brazil came with 4
Vamos!
table. What a final table. What a win. Sven will have to wait for 3. Great play. Great day. What a final table.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats is right. Tell me about your thoughts, Allison, his game. He was chip leader start, didn't hold it the whole way, but he did get at the end. He ended in the top spot. Tell me what he did. How did he get it done?
Yeah, he stayed aggressive. He wasn't afraid to put the chips in, pull the trigger in a lot of spots. He did it when he had people covered, so if it didn't work, he could still come back, build it back up. And I think one of the themes that we saw today that we can take away is when you're out of position, instead of putting yourself in the check call line when you have strong hands, start building the pot. So in spots where they had the opportunity with a hand that had their opponent actually maybe drawing dead, instead of check calling, they're just check raising the turn and trying to get the money in and not relying on their opponent to like put the money in position as a bluff. So yeah, I think building the pot out of position with value was like a very big theme today. What do you think?
There was some great play, great bluffs, great calls. We saw a little of everything. And hey, Allison AP from Brazil took it down. We saw a great battle, and congrats, you did win the dinner today. We had a fun sweat. That was a battle where it was even heads up at the end, all you can ask for. But again, appreciate everyone. We're back. We had the week off last week. We will be back with a big guest and a big show as always next week. I think we'll start kicking it back up.
Bigger than me?
You could listen. You're the record setter for appearances. So again, we do. You have got the title, and we would love to have you back, Brian Paris as well. Small Edges Poker. If you can give us the handle one more time, tell us where they can follow you and check out the course.
For coaching, strung out 12 at gmail.com for prices and availability. Usually I do some coaching after the World Series. And Small Edges Poker on Gumroad, and the link is in the chat for a discount code, but there's only 3 copies available, and it's the cheapest we've ever put it out for $99 just for this stream for 3 people. So thanks for having me on.
Congrats to the winners. 3 winners, GG tickets, the 50 pin tweet that's still available. You guys can go and hit retweet and guess who wins, which now you know, but that's not all it is to engage. So don't worry, you can just put a name, have fun, tag a friend. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Big shout out to Mike, big shout out to our team, GG. We're back, GG Millions back on weekly Tuesdays, same time, same place. Play to the end, no deal making. We'll be here on Tuesday next week. Appreciate everyone. Enjoy.
Bye. Congrats, Allison.